Ladies and gentlemen, I know Chris had a good laugh behind that one. Welcome to a special edition of Wrestling Talk Radio. This your boy Big Keys, your host for everything and anything wrestling. So we got a big show for y'all tonight, man. I got a special announcement and I got a special guest. I got a special guest that's joining us tonight as well. So big news that happened last weekend that we're gonna get into. But first off, let me give a couple of shout outs, man. Shout out to my homeboy Sean, your boxing fix. If you're a huge boxing fan, make sure y'all go check him out on Instagram. My homeboy has the connects for everything boxing. My man is doing big things over there, man. Y'all need to check him out, man. So definitely it's YFB Boxing, I believe. So definitely check him out. Shout out to Fuego Beats Radio. We got to get together, man. I know we got a lot going on or whatever, but I gotta get up with you, man. So definitely check out Fuego Beats Radio as well. And also make sure y'all subscribe to this YouTube channel where we're on right now. So that way, hit that subscribe button so that way you can get notifications when we go live or when I post content to the page. Make sure y'all like us on Facebook. Make sure y'all like us on Instagram. And make sure y'all follow us on Twitter as well. Where I keep everything updated with the latest and greatest going on with wrestling, man. Appreciate all the love that I've gotten so far in regards to the Wrestling Talk Radio page. We're going to 3 years strong, man. We still doing the damn thing. Everybody who's been there with me from the get-go, hey, thank you, man. It's greatly appreciated, man. So, anyways, we're going to get into this, man. I got to make a couple of introductions first. So, let me introduce you to the regular crew, and then I'm going to introduce you to my special guest who is joining us tonight. First off, you know whose music that is, Lucas. What's up, fam? What's good with you?
What's cracking, everybody? Saturday was dope. And, yeah, glad to be here. Let's get ready to talk some shit.
Let's go. Second.
I can't with you two. I really cannot.
Watch that part. Hit that part. You can't tell me that ain't Barry White. You can't tell me Barry White.
Chris, what's good, fam?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, gentlemen? Saturday was definitely a dope experience, man. Saturday was definitely a dope experience. Going to that was some lit ass crowd, man. I was great time.
We're definitely gonna hear more about it, man. And also, so my co-hosts have been on, and a man who haven't been on since 1996, right? We're going back June 1996. He hasn't been on the show since 1996. So, Ricky, what's going on, fam? Welcome back, Ricky.
What up, fellas? It's good to be here. Saturday was sick in more ways than one. Mainly, if you can tell by my congested speech patterns, because I'm pretty sure I got sick at the event. But I agree with Chris and I agree with Lucas. It was fantastic, and we're going to get into it a little bit later.
Ricky, welcome back, man. Ricky, man, you've been on the show in a minute, man. Welcome back. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I got a special guest joining me tonight, man. I met this cat last year. He's good. Me and him have been cool ever since. Yes, he is my ex's cousin. So, but that's for another show. But
that's actually hilarious.
Wow.
He's
That's
good people.
fucking
I'm
funny.
not throwing no shade. Hey, I'm not throwing no shade. We good. But I met his crew, man. I went over there, his friend's crib, watched the boxing match, man. They made me feel like man. Definitely had a good time. Had some good food, man. We went out to watch football when I was there up in Richmond, man. Definitely good people, man. Dante, what's good with you, fam?
What's good? What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the show, man. We've been trying.
Where is he?
Yeah, I ain't even have my camera. I just told him to get on the mic. I ain't even have my camera today because it was like a
Oh, okay.
last minute thing.
Okay. All right.
Nah, it was a last minute thing. I told him I'm gonna have to make this a regular thing.
For sure. For sure. Welcome aboard, my boy.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yes, we've been trying to get Dante on the show for a long ass time, and it just schedule conflict, everything here and there. But we finally got him on the show. He wanted to come on the show because he texted me right after the moment happened, and I was telling him, and I texted him back. I was like, "Hey, we doing a show Thursday. I need you to get on." He's like, "I'll be there," and here he is.
Welcome aboard.
Without any further ado, gentlemen, let's address the elephant in the room. Survivor Series War Games was this past Saturday, and at the end of War, and by the way, Ricky, Chris, and Lucas were all in attendance at Allstate Arena at Survivor Series War Games. At the conclusion of the men's War Games, they showed the little thing on the bottom. What is that thing called, Lucas? At the bottom of the screen that they show at the end of
a watermark.
The watermark.
Soon as copyright.
Well, you guys
advertise. Yeah, the copyright.
Yeah, you guys couldn't see that because you guys were at the arena. Well, as soon as they showed it, CM Punk's music hit, and he came out, and that crowd went nuts. So I gotta get y'all feelings on it because I know everybody. This was the biggest moment everybody talked about for the past week. Almost, this has been the biggest news story. Yes, CM Punk is back in WWE. So, and I remember we've been talking on the past couple of episodes, especially the episode where we talked about when CM Punk got let go by AEW. And we were talking about, hey, I think a few of us say we don't think he was going to be back in WWE. Lo and behold, soon as the music hit, I remember Justin, shout out to Justin. Justin was like, holy fuck. He was like, holy fuck. And he came out, it was like, and I remember Lucas was in the group chat saying, dude, he's like, this place is off the chain right now. So, I want to hear about the experience, about when it happened, and we'll talk about War Games as well in regards to what y'all thought in regards to that. So who wants to open the floor up first in regards to the reaction or whatever?
The All State shook. I shit you not. It shook. It was that loud.
It was that loud. How was with the overall reaction? It's just the crowd I never heard a pop that loud in my life, bro.
So I went over and rewatched Survivor Series, and I saw when they cut it off. After they cut it off, the crowd was still going crazy about 20 minutes after that, maybe, I want to say.
Matthew's in the group. Matthew's Stachera, he's the biggest pop. He's an All-State Arena. He must have went. Matt, I don't know. I'm about to message you. I don't know.
He was there. He was there.
Okay, he said
one of my buddies from the gym.
Okay. Everything. Shout out to Matt because Matt
that
does
was
like a lot of the stuff.
That was his first pay-per-view. And I told him you can't ever go back again because that's going to be hard to top.
So what was the crowd reaction? Was just the crowd was like, were they like holy shit, or it was just insane?
Well, keep in mind too, throughout the entire men's War Games match, there, at least at the beginning of it, there were a ton of CM Punk chants, but at the same time, people were booing down those chants. So the crowd was hot basically from the get-go for that War Games match. So the match itself was fantastic. Ended on a very high note. Orton came back. We could get into that. But I was of the opinion, and Lucas can attest, I didn't think he was going to show up. But eventually when we went home and saw, the crowd at home got NXT watermarked. But in the arena, it was easily the loudest individual reaction I've ever heard. And that includes the time that, if you remember back when he first left, there was that Raw in Chicago where they did like the fake out where they played his music, but then Paul Heyman came out. It was louder than that. And I remember being at the Sears Center for AEW when Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson made an appearance, and louder than that. It was just insane how loud that reaction was.
Yeah. I've never, for the years that I've been going to wrestling events since I was a kid, I've never experienced a pop like that. I'm like you, Rick. I remember you talked about it. I didn't think. I kept telling people he wasn't coming back. There was like people sitting next to me. They kept chanting CM Punk, and I kept saying, "Well, y'all stop. He's not coming back out. He's not coming out. He's not coming back." I just stood there like and I just stood there like in a little bit of shock, like because the dudes looked at me was like, "I told you." I was like, "Fuck," but man, Allstate Arena shook. I thought it was going. I thought the roof really, cliche as it sounds, I thought the roof really was going about to come off because the pop that Randy Orton got, followed by the pop that Phil Brooks got, man, and it gave you goosebumps. It gave you goosebumps, and on top of that, once that cult of personality hit, I couldn't help but to sing it. Couldn't help but to sing it.
So
Like you
go ahead,
said,
Lucas.
we
I'm
said
go ahead, Lucas.
I know I said he wasn't coming back, and his punk ass did. It is what it is. My energy is kept. Fuck Phil.
How was the Randy Orton? I know what Ricky was talking about it. How was the Randy Orton pop?
It was the second biggest pop of the night.
That was the second biggest pop of the night. It really was.
Okay.
Yep.
And it honestly, it got louder probably when he actually got out, or like when he went or through the curtain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like the crowd saw him. That's when it actually got really loud.
Facts.
Yep.
So, question. Now we saw post match about Seth Rollins. Were you guys there for that? Because I remember Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got it
Oh,
on
yeah.
video.
So what
I
happened?
got it
yeah.
on video.
Oh yeah.
Since y'all were there, what actually did y'all see with Seth Rollins? Because they showed it like he was out the ring, and they showed the other guys that was still in the cage after the match. So
He was the only one mad.
He was mad, and then they came out to try to hold him back.
Pretty much.
It was. So this is what's kind of hilarious about the whole thing. Seth was the only one mad. Sammy and Cody are trying to just keep the peace,
Yep.
and Jay and Randy are just in the cage, just dapping up, talking shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Judgment Day was still there in there too.
Oh yeah, they still were. Yeah.
So wait a minute, were they just looking upon like they were like looking at
Yep.
Rollins like
They
Yeah.
were looking. They were just looking like, oh, okay,
They were looking like the rest of us were looking.
yeah.
It was like the show had ended, but they still had to get one more thing in, so they did it, and everybody else that was around ringside just had to deal with it.
It was
But they
hilarious.
But
Go
they
ahead,
didn't
Ricky.
cut to anybody. They didn't cut to anybody on the video when
No.
Punk was out there. It was just all on him the rest of the night.
Yeah, and the crowd basically.
Yeah.
But it was funny because Thomas, my brother, was like, he looked at me. He was like, "Are we about to leave?" I'm like, "Yeah, slowly but surely." And like, I looked at my watch. I was like, "It's 9:45. It's still early."
Yeah.
So I was like thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, something's about to happen, like in the ring maybe. But I didn't. As soon as I heard that record scratch, my jaw just dropped. I was like, no fucking way.
Same. As soon as I heard that record scratch, I said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I'm like, this place is about to go ballistic for a good minute too. And I looked over at Chris.
And I looked over at Chris.
Cult of Personality.
He's singing Cult of.
that's crazy.
That's crazy. It's funny. As me sitting,
Somebody's echoing.
coming back in. Somebody's echoing. All right.
Good.
Are we good?
Somebody's
echoing.
hold on. I think it was Dante.
I'm gonna say it's not me.
I think
Wasn't
it was
me.
Dante. He'll text me and everything. I'll put him back in here in a minute. But yeah, as a fan, because I was just getting asked Dante as a fan sitting at home, like when I was sitting there watching it live and I saw it was ending, and I was like, okay, that's the end of the pay per view. That's it. They're celebrating. Everything is gonna go off the air. All of a sudden, it stopped as you was watching, and all of a sudden, CM Punk's thing came up, and it was like, holy shit! I was like, he's really back. I was like, he's really back. I'm like, I didn't. I'll be admit, I didn't think he was coming back to WWE. I thought it was just rumors, and that was it. That's Dante. 1 second. Okay, Dante's gonna get back here in just a minute. But sitting at home, I was like, wow, he really came back. I couldn't believe it. Like literally, I was shocked as many of y'all, but for y'all to be there, and Lucas, you've been there for a lot of moments, man. Shit, it's just. What was the other war games where Kevin Owens came out? That pop was even bigger, right? Well, not bigger, but
prior to CM Punk on Saturday, that was probably the biggest pop I've been a part of. Yes, but as far as like things that I've seen a lot of damn things. Brock picking up the ring with the tractor being the top one, I'd say.
Yeah, you see, Lucas has seen some crazy shit, man. Lucas has been on a lot of pay-per-views, man. So
That was my 14th one.
Lucas
so,
ain't
what
been.
y'all, so we're gonna get into the CM Punk conversation later on in regards to the future of CM Punk and WWE. As far as the War Games is concerned, what were you guys' reaction in regards to the War Games seeing it live? Is this
The women's one was better.
I'm glad. For my first time seeing the War Games, it was it was what I expected. I would like to see another War Games match. I wish I could have seen a War Games match like back in the day with blood and shit. But for my first War Games match, it was spectacular. I want to see it again.
how was the EO spot live with the trash can?
Hilarious.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was
walked
too
in.
busy in line.
I walked in probably 5 minutes prior to that, I want to say.
That was hilarious to me, the way she came down with the trash can. That was definitely hilarious, man. So watching the War Games live, so it was definitely the both of the War Games matches. I heard a lot of people say the women's War Games match was definitely better than the men's War Games match.
It was.
I kind of agree. The men's War Games match, I was let down. I was definitely let down. I just, it didn't do anything for me. I was really let down. I mean, I've seen NXT War Game men matches that were better than the War Games match I saw. The Bloodline War Games match was much better last year than the men's War Games match this year.
Well, that's because I can understand where you're coming from, Keith, when you say that. That's because with this War Game, they just threw a bunch of people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the only people that was the Judgment Day. That was the only faction, and everything else was thrown together. I get where you're coming from, so I can't disagree with your opinion on how you felt about it. Me personally, I think the reason why this wasn't the best War Games that I've seen, as far as the NXTs and even last year, like you said, Bloodline, but for what I saw live, I enjoyed the spots. It was a sight to see. I think with last year's with the Bloodline, there was too much of a storyline that went with it. The whole Sami Zayn and everything. So you gotta throw that into it. The storyline and everything that was behind it. As far as with this one, everybody just had a beef with Judgment Day or what have you may. But
that's how it was with Undisputed Era too in NXT.
Yeah.
Basically those four came together because they had beef with Undisputed Era.
Yeah, so
I think they just executed that a little better. That's it.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'll agree. All right, Dante, you back with us? Dante,
yes, sir.
I'm just gonna go back just 1 minute, fellas. I apologize. Because I wanted to get
a
reaction in regards to the CM Punk thing. Dante, what was your reaction in regards to CM Punk showing up at Survivor Series?
Top 5 moments wrestling history to me. I don't want to sound like cliche, like everybody could be like, "Oh, he didn't call it," but you know me, you saw what I was posting. I kind of felt like it was a 100% guarantee he was going back to WWE. I got killed for it. I got everybody telling me I was crazy. It wasn't going to happen. Punk not coming back. WWE don't want him. But I stood my ground feeling like, I felt like he left because there was too many politics going on. And I felt like he seen the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, came back home. I thought it was crazy. It was definitely top 5.
I think WWE was always in the back of his head. AEW was just the alternative for him to go to because he hated Vince. He had beef with Vince. Let's be real now.
Yeah.
No, he had beef with Tripp. He had beef with everybody, but he had beef with Tripp the most.
So,
and let's be real though. At the time, Trips was just going into that big boy position.
Right.
So I can see why he had a problem with him at the start. Trips wasn't doing the greatest job either. You also got
wasn't.
They walked out on him.
That was
I know it was a storyline, but still.
We're talking about legit. We're talking about legit heat, my boy. I think Triple H.
NXT wasn't a thing until 2012.
Exactly.
He took over what, like early 2011, mid 2011?
I mean, you got to understand where it was coming from. You got to understand because OVW wasn't televised like that.
Mm-mm.
Excuse me. OVW wasn't televised like that, so everybody was trying to get. You got to understand. You only heard about the OVWs and everything like that. You only heard about them. You never saw them. You never got to see a chance to see Brock Lesnar and Leviathan, which was Batista. You know, you only heard of that stuff. You heard that people went back down to OVW. So when NXT came about, it was something to get used to because it's like the G League. You had to get used to it. When they saw that NXT was, you know, you ain't got NXT ain't got nothing to lose. So they was able to put on banger of a matches without without the restrictions of what the main roster can do. You know what I mean? They because they didn't have sponsors. They just had the main WWE behind them. So I can't say, oh well, okay, it took up because guess what? Tripp took it over, and you say he took it over in 2011. NXT was holding their head way above water when it came against the main roster, though.
It also wasn't presented how it was later on down the line.
Exactly.
Don't forget, it was its own show at one point, but they were doing like it looked like a draft combine, a poor man's draft combine in a sense. They were doing all these silly like tire runs and like jumps over all this
because
other
they were trying to continue the tough enough shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They tried to make NXT into Tough Enough 2.0, and they realized that shit sucked, and what they needed to do is actually make it a development brand.
Thank you. I agree with Lucas because
facts.
I didn't like how they were doing NXT because I remember they was watching it and they had the each wrestler had a superstar they were with, and I was like, okay, and I was thinking, Lucas, and I was like, why don't they just make this like a brand? And I was like, why don't they just make this a brand? I'm like, take developmental wrestlers and just give them their own show.
Well, also, you got to think now, like, who the trainers are over there. Like, you got A-Train who's over there. Shawn Michaels does all the writing. Beforehand, it was Triple H doing all the writing, obviously.
Is DeMott still over there in NXT?
I'm not sure. But it's like you got all these.
Was let go.
He was let go.
That's why A-Train is there. Bill DeMott was let go years ago. That motherfucker was bullying people.
Okay.
My bad. At the sense though, you have old school wrestlers who are now coaches over there, which helps.
I mean, I like to me, I don't think that Punk had as serious beef with Triple H as people think. I feel like Punk came from the Indies, and Triple H didn't understand the Indies because he never really had to do the Indies the way Punk did. And I felt like they kind of probably buried the hatch a long time ago, because if you see how Triple H took to every indie person that came in the NXT and kind of gave them the WWE, vibe, the WWE culture, but still let them be them. From Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, he never changed them until they got to the main roster. And once they got to the main roster, people really look at it. The way Vince McMahon did Daniel Bryan, Karrion Kross, you can name, I mean, it's a list of them. He basically was like, these ain't my guys, these indie guys, and treat them like that. Treat them like jobbers. He didn't give them the respect. I think the only person he gave respect to was AJ Styles. And that's honestly almost by accident if you look at how he wanted to change his name and change his, who he was. I feel like that's why it was easier for Punk to come back, because him and Triple H kind of buried the hatchet a long time ago. It was just Vince. And a lot of people say that it's Vince. No different than as soon as Vince was out the door before the Endeavor, the whole changeover, everybody wanted to come back. Everybody. Everybody, Andrade, it was reported that literally everybody that left that was Triple H's people wanted to come back. But they had already signed AEW. So I think it really was all Vince, in my opinion.
I feel you on that. But see, this is where I can say it's easier to blame the owner. It was easy to blame Vince. Yes, Vince, as far as creatively, Vince started letting the sponsors dictate everything. He let the times dictate everything. So, we've all seen that everybody comes back. So is Vince really the problem? Because everybody comes back. Yes, a lot of these people that have came back have been Triple H's boy, have been a product of Triple H and NXT, because that's the way it's going now. NXT is, you're not really going out getting anybody from another organization. Everybody's coming back from NXT or some type of indies, like you said. What I like I said, a lot of the things you read, a lot of the things I've read, it was, yes, Vince was the ultimate say so guy, but Tripp was the fall guy. Tripp was the fall
Yeah.
guy when it came to him and Phil Brooks. So like a lot of stuff you see in that storyline when Phil Brooks became who he is with the weak ass fake ass pipe bomb that was written, that wasn't really a pipe bomb, but you see as the tide started to shift, that was real shit. That was real heat between him and Triple H. But Triple H was the fall guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got to think about, look who came back: Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and he went to court on him. You feel me? Um, uh, shit. Shawn Michaels, shit. Remember, Shawn Michaels didn't leave on a good note. Uh, I mean, there's a lot of people that came back. So was Vince the greatest as he got older? No. But Vince gave too many people an opportunity. That's why I kind of believe what Phil Brooks said. He said, I didn't want to admit it, but I gotta say the truth. I'm home. Facts. Phil Brooks, CM Punk would not be the CM Punk he was if it wasn't for WWE and if it wasn't for Vince. If he was still CM Punk from ROH, he would not. That pop would not be as loud as it was. So we can sit there and say, "Oh, it's because of Vince," but shit, hey, at the end of the day, you better thank Vince. And Vince still got some say so. Goddamn it.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not saying he Vince didn't put him on. I would never do that. That would be
Yeah, for
disrespectful.
sure.
But I will say that, I mean, the people you name come back from the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, it's a money thing. If you throw enough money at a lot of people, when time heals to a point where if I can get $1 million to come back and just do a couple appearances, I'm going to take that. And I felt like that's what it is versus the people that I named, like Andrade or Gargano, the people that want to come and work for Triple H. They speak highly of them.
Yeah,
And I
that's
feel like
true. That's very much true. That's
I
very
feel
true.
like it's not about the money to them. They're willing to take the pay cut to work with Triple H because they love him. I rarely hear anybody who talk bad about Triple H the
Yeah, that's
executive
true. That's
versus
true.
Triple H the person. So when Punk, humbles himself, seeing that AEW, you know, he humbled himself. I feel like
Yeah,
both of them grew up. Everybody grows up,
yeah,
and they both grew up and realizing, hey, I can make a lot of money over here,
yeah.
and I can deal with it with a structure versus where I was, where there is no structure. And
That's
I just
right.
felt
No,
like,
I agree. I hear you on that.
And that's
I agree with you 100%. Actually, to be honest with you, I just kind of feel like everybody that I kind of want to, not to say that they don't give a shit about that, they everybody just wanted to be back with Tripp, but I kind of feel like a lot of those people thought the grass was going to be greener on the other side. They all
they
thought the grass
sure
was going to be
did.
greener on the other side, and I kind of feel like that's the reason why they came back. Like, okay, because guess what? They were tired of sitting in catering at WWE. Well, guess what? Now you're really sitting in catering in AEW. So I guess
Right.
they feel like, well, shit, well, at least I know at least I know I was at least gonna get on main event or something. Did they get the best storylines? See, I kind of feel like as fans, we want what we want at the time that we want it, instead of at the time that it's good to have it. So you think about, like, it's easy to say, oh well, this person should have got a push, or this person should have got the main event, or this person should have got a lengthy ride with the title or something like that. But you got to think about at everything has a time on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I draw this, I'll give that example. You can't expect somebody to come from NXT and put on the matches that they did in NXT that they do with it on the main roster. You can expect the same thing.
Coming
Why?
down.
Because the handcuffs are more on the main roster than they are NXT. Like I said, NXT don't really have nothing to lose because it is a developmental, but they treat it like an indie. You know what I'm saying? So they really have nothing to lose. They just want to be seen. You dig what I'm
Facts.
saying? So so they don't have the restrictions. They can go out and put on a match. They're not making $1 million. a year.
All right, so let me ask you a question though.
Yes, sir.
So both questions, like I mean, but both what you said. If Sasha Banks comes back, Monet, whatever she comes back because she says she loves Triple H. Would that then change the perspective of that everybody wants to work for Triple H no matter what? Because she swore she was never coming back. She was happy where she was. But now it's saying that she could return to WWE.
Let me ask you a question. We all been in high school, right?
Right.
Did we have a favorite teacher?
Yes, I assume so.
Yeah, okay. We all had a favorite teacher, right?
Absolutely.
We all had a favorite teacher. But I guarantee you a lot of us didn't like the principal.
Right.
So did I if the next year I want my teacher back for a different class, I want to go back to my teacher. Yes, she works under the principal who I don't like, but at the same time, I'm still going to want to be with that same teacher because that teacher gave me the notoriety that I needed. So to your point, what you haven't been on this show many times or the group chat. That's another subject for another day because I can't stand Sasha Banks. I don't respect that shit. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's kind of like you want to get your same teacher back. You don't give a fuck about the principal, but you can't want to get your same teacher back.
But what would you? But by your same logic, wouldn't that be that Triple H was the teacher, Vince McMahon was the principal?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is like at the end of the day, I feel like maybe these people would have came back, Vince or not. It's just the fact that they've allowed Triple H to finally not have nobody in his ear when he makes a decision. So that's the best part about it.
He's doing shit his way.
So he's doing shit his way. Now they've TKO or whatever have given him the notoriety and
they gave him the green light basically.
The green light to say,
do it how you would do it.
Do what the fuck you want to do. There's nobody in your ears. There's no chains on you anymore. You don't have to worry about your father-in-law.
You don't have a
business.
The final say goes through him now.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm getting you. So to my original point, then we're agreeing that if he's the teacher and Vince McMahon's the principal, they just fired the principal and made your favorite teacher the principal, and now he runs everything. By that logic,
Nick Khan is the principal.
I honestly, but Nick Khan to me, and I didn't know who just said it, but they said Triple H has the handcuffs off. That means that he now makes all final decisions. So now he is the principal. Nick Khan may be the owner of the school, but Triple H is the principal. Everything goes through him first before it gets to Khan.
Totally off topic here, but Nick Khan handles more of the business side of the company. I don't think he has any say in like creative.
He's why the company is sponsoring the Big 12 this year.
Okay.
Triple H is why their storylines are the way they are right now.
Exactly. Right. So I say this is how I feel. I believe whether Nick Khan was the principal or Vince was the principal, I feel they would have came back just as long as Triple H was still being the motherfucker that can make the decisions for their career. You know what I mean? By putting them in the best position to where he didn't have Vince in his ear or somebody in his ear saying, "Oh, you just do it this way."
Right.
And by the way, I just want to add one thing. That's the huge difference between Triple H and the fucking idiot Tony Khan. Tony Khan tries to act like your best friend, and he's just basically a stupid mark. A stupid mark with a lot of money. Triple H means business at the end of the day. He's all about business. He acts like an actual boss.
I agree.
Right. So with that, so now
and it's like it's cool that you want to have like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's cool that you want to have that close relationship with your wrestlers. Fine, but don't be a fucking weirdo about it the way Tony is. Like I said, he's a mark with money. That's it.
One thing, Ricky, I know you can attest to this too. Y'all can say what y'all want to about Vince, but let me tell you something. Vince never let the inmates run the asylum. Ever.
Never.
Nobody ever tried to run the asylum.
Y'all wrong on that.
Who ran the asylum?
Hold on. The whole clique ran the asylum. And that has been documented for years.
Well, yeah.
They made him do what they wanted him to do.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
So
yeah, but here's the thing, though. Nobody in AEW is of that nature, though.
That's right.
They're not on that level.
Who is the Shawn Michaels of AEW?
Right.
Of AEW?
Yeah, who's the Shawn Michaels of AEW? I
Okay,
mean that stature.
I got it.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
He
Kenny
doesn't have.
Omega would be.
Hold on.
No, sorry. No, nobody
I
does.
love Kenny Omega. He's my
Nobody
favorite. He's
does. I'm
my favorite
sorry, dude.
wrestler. But he doesn't have the Shawn. He doesn't have the Shawn Michaels charisma.
Nobody's
No,
got
you
juice
didn't. You
like
didn't.
that.
He doesn't.
I didn't.
Nobody
I
has
never
juice like
compared
that
him
in
to Shawn
AEW.
Michaels.
I'm sorry, bro. Nobody's
Hold on.
got
I
juice
never
like that.
compared him to Shawn. No, you asked me. The question was who has that type of pull. I'm not saying that he's Shawn Michaels. I'm definitely not saying he's even 10% of what Shawn Michaels was in his prime. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're talking power and you're talking influence, Kenny Omega, love him or hate him, influenced all indie guys to want to work with him. He is the indie guy draw. Kenny Omega talks to people
I
they
would
want
give.
to
I
work
would
with.
give more of that to AJ Styles, but he's not in AEW.
No, we asked who was in AEW. I was
Oh
only going off the
yeah.
question.
You're right. You're right.
The
you're
question
right.
was who in AEW has that type of pull, and that is why I believe that the mistakes was made with Punk was because you're listening to people who've never been on a big stage, and people
The Bucks listen to their virgin fan base. That's the fucking problem.
100%, 100%.
And honestly, when it really boils down to it, people can point fingers at Punk all they want. And I'm gonna say this now: I'm not a Punk fan in the slightest, but Punk was innocent in that whole thing. It was all the Young Bucks' fault. They fumbled that. They fucked that up.
We can agree
We
can agree to disagree because I don't agree with that.
Well, I'll tell you why I agree with it, and why I agree with him on that. Because if you look back at it, let's just say what you say is right. Let's timeline wise. I'll run through real quick. If you say Punk comes in before Punk got there, his friends were FTR. They were friends. Before Punk got there, the Bucks had already took FTR to the video game. Because I remember pre-ordering the video game, like, it's gonna be cool to have some tag team matches. FTR was taken out of the video game at first. I actually canceled my pre-order because of that. Because I was like, man, I'm not doing this. So you go back, you fast forward, Punk comes in. Now there was already trouble before Punk came in between Sammy Guevara fighting, whatever. Hangman goes out there, goes in business for himself. That's the start of it. As a boss, you stop that. I mean, I've managed places before. As a boss, you go in, you say, hey, you wrong. I'm gonna correct you. You never correct it. So Punk goes out there, corrects him. All of a sudden, every dirt sheet is saying Punk's a cancer, Punk's a cancer, Punk's a cancer. Fine. You say it's Punk. The whole fight happens, the whole brawl happens. Once the brawl happens, everybody should have got reprimanded. Once they came back, it should have been, we all gonna sit down, we're gonna hash this out. Whoever don't want to hash this out, either you're gonna sit at home, or I'm gonna job you out, or we're gonna freeze your contract because you're not doing what's best for business. Punk came back and wanted to do what's best for business. I truly believe this is why it's not Punk's fault, because I've seen him wrestle wrestlers that we so-called say he has beef with and put on matches and get in the ring with him, and we not know that he has beef with him. And still do the job for him without an issue. So you fast forward to them splitting them up, which is already wrong. You split them up, put them on Collision. He never went to Jungle Boy first. They came to Punk. Tony Schiavone said Jungle Boy wants to use real glass. This has been reported. It's not like everybody said that. They came to him. He wants to use real glass. So now he, as a higher back locker room leader, whether right or wrong, whatever you want to say, he goes sometimes.
Wait. Hold on. Who died and made CM Punk the locker room leader?
Tony Khan.
No. Don't misconstrue Tony Khan sucking his dick as a locker room leader. Punk was no locker room leader.
Okay.
And what you read, I've read the complete opposite. Hold on. What does CM Punk have to do with what Jungle Boy wanted to do anyway? That had nothing to do with CM Punk.
So listen. So if you agree with that,
CM Punk thought he was a locker room leader, and first of all, you gotta have the respect of more than just the FTR to have that. You weren't you can first of all you're not you. That's the people want you want to talk about. I can agree with you that it ain't all CM Punk's fault. But it is Tony Khan's fault because he allowed CM Punk to come in there and believe he was bigger than that's CM Punk's problem. He believes he's bigger than any company that he's in.
But he was bigger than AEW.
No, he's not.
Okay, so look, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Wait. Just because, okay. So then I'm gonna say it like this: if you feel he was bigger than AEW, why is he bigger than AEW? Because of fucking Vince.
Right.
Your name is synonymous. Your name is synonymous
He's
due
not
to
arguing
being
that, Chris.
WWE.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
He's not
I'm not
arguing
arguing
that.
he's not.
No. But
I'm
what I'm
sorry.
saying is, Tony Khan, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way by giving somebody whatever type of leeway that he gave him. Tony Khan wanted to be friends. He didn't want to be the boss.
Okay, so you asked me a question
I
earlier.
didn't mean to burp like that. Sorry.
No, you asked me a question earlier.
So
You said who made Punk the locker room leader, and I was giving you the information. If Punk wasn't locker room leader and he wasn't ahead of a Collision, as they stated, and it's been reported multiple times, then why did Tony Schiavone and the whole back go to him and explain to him, Jungle Boy, if he's not the leader and it's not his job, then nobody would go explain to me.
But that didn't happen on Collision. That happened at the pay-per-view.
No,
So
sir. Hold on, no,
they
sir.
went back. This happened at the pay-per-view. So what
No.
the fuck Collision got to do with anything?
Because I'm explaining it. This did not happen at the pay. Hold on. When he first the glass incident did not happen at the pay-per-view. The incident where he said, "Oh, look, it's real glass." That's the pay-per-view at Wembley. He did not before the pay-per-view. When remember, because it was all over the dirt sheets. They went Tony Schiavone in the back on Collision. He wanted to use real glass on Collision. Before Wembley, they went to him and they said, "You can't use real glass. You need to go talk to him." CM Punk, because he was head of the show, he was help writing the show Collision. That was his job, and it was stated. He went to him. You can look it up on the Observer. You can look it up on any newsletter. He went to Jungle Boy and said, "Hey, we're not using real glass." Jungle Boy then and him got into an altercation before Wimbledon. Tony Khan told him, "Chill." Punk said it's over. I already told him he can't use real glass. They go to Wembley. He sneaks real glass in, uses real glass, then goes cry me a river. That's when the fight happened. But Punk was head of Collision. So that's the answer. You said who put him in charge? Tony did. He was writing for Collision. That's why what's his friend? The one with
And yes, exactly what you're saying. The same thing I'm saying. You said who put him just because Tony Khan didn't really make him the locker room leader. Tony Khan just gave him a little free reign. When you talk about locker room leaders, you talk about the Undertaker, people that commanded respect. You talk about Roman Reigns, people that commanded respect. You talk about Hulk Hogan, people that commanded respect. CM Punk did not command no respect because he came in there thinking he ran shit. How does he have? I'm gonna ask you this: how the fuck CM Punk got more rank over motherfucking Chris Jericho? And Chris Jericho helped start it.
I'll tell you why Punk has more rank, because Tony Khan split the show, and he put the people who Punk wanted on the show, from Miro to FTR, they all went to Collision. That was the whole point of Collision, and it was even stated. This is not like something that we're making up. You can go look at. It's been that way. They split Andrade. Remember, they put Andrade. They put out the girl that didn't wrestle, that hasn't wrestled in a while. They put a lot of them on Collision because they were beefing with the Bucks.
Exactly, but they gave him Collision to keep him away from the Bucks. Because you forget, Bucks is still executive VP.
So
they don't act like it though.
VP.
Right?
They don't act like it though.
Act like it.
That's the problem with them.
See, the problem with people in Punk is bigger than AEW. And I give you examples of wrestling.
I disagree.
Okay, so let's say you disagree. All right, so here's the thing. I'll say you disagree. There's been wrestlers in history.
Punk is not bigger than Jericho, so how can he be bigger than AEW?
He is bigger than Jericho right now. Punk is bigger.
No, he's not bigger than Jericho. He's bigger than Jericho here in Chicago.
No, listen. I'm gonna explain why he's bigger than Jericho. Jericho's getting older. He's more of a musician. I'm not saying, now mind you, when I say bigger, I'm not saying Punk's a better wrestler, has better accolades. I'm not saying that.
I think he means overall right now in the present.
I'm talking at this point.
Yeah.
Right. Because
hold on, but that's not saying much. I'm speaking as a whole. CM Punk is nowhere near bigger than Chris Jericho. If you want to talk about right now, then that's like me saying, okay, well, Jokic is bigger. Jokic is bigger than LeBron James right now. That's what.
Okay, so listen. So look, let me. So wrestling's like this. Right now, you would never think CM Punk is bigger than Ric Flair, right? But if the next 5 years, if you had to have a wrestler where you wanted to make money and draw money, CM Punk is bigger than Ric Flair. It's always been like that in wrestling.
Ric Flair is 80-some years old.
Right. So this is my point. Chris Jericho is older. He's not a draw like Punk. I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying as a whole, he is not
Right.
bigger than Chris Jericho. If you're talking about right now in the present day at Chris Jericho being 50 years old and CM Punk being 43, then okay, I give
Right.
you
That's
that.
all.
But
Correct. That's all I can talk
okay,
about.
but I'm speaking as a whole. He's not better. He's not bigger than Chris Jericho.
Right. And I
And
prefaced
I'm
the
not
beginning
even
of
the
the
biggest Chris
conversation
Jericho.
by
And I'm not
saying
even
that.
the biggest Chris Jericho fan.
Right. But listen, I prefaced the beginning of the conversation by saying I'm not talking about in the whole, because we're talking about AEW right now. So I can only talk about AEW in the last year. So we're talking a year. CM Punk is bigger than AEW. How do I know this? The guy has been away from AEW for four months, and he's still the number one merch seller in that company. He's not even there anymore. He's about to be the first person to be the number one seller in two companies, and at the same time. That's almost the equivalent of Hulk Hogan going from WCW straight to WWF and still being a merch holder and still being the number one. There has been in history we watch wrestling all of our lives. I'm assuming all of us have watched it.
And I'll piggyback off of that. Being a number one merch holder in AEW is not saying much, considering AEW merch don't sell like that.
Well, I would assume it would be because most people AEW money, most people only know AEW by the people that they know. It ain't like WWE where
AEW fans are indie casuals that
right.
fake hated Vince. That's
Okay.
all that is. That's all it is. You go through that every year. You go through that every generation. That's how Hulk Hogan phased out. That's why Hulk Hogan was able to go to heel, because people got tired of the same old red and yellow, say your prayers, take your vitamins. That's how that's how the good guy, bad guy, heel face fizzled out. So, like I said, him being the number one merch in AEW is not saying much. AEW is not selling. AEW is not selling much. Just like Impact Wrestling, you're not selling. You're not selling much merch. You want to know why? Because AEW does not have sponsors. They don't have sponsors to keep their name, to get their name out there. So that's why selling merch is not much.
That's not
That's
true.
not much of shit. Also, you said you pre-ordered AEW's whatever that did. I hope you got your money back, because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I hope you got your money
But
back.
listen,
Hey, either I hope he got his money back, or I
I mean,
hope he waited till that shit dropped to $2 at the store, because it
I
didn't
hope
take
you
long
got
for
your
it to
money,
drop.
because I don't know if that was the fan in you, or you became one of those, or I want to see something different. I want a different product. And the typical AEW fan remark when it's not about pro wrestling, when you say it's about pro wrestling, but then you don't watch any other wrestling organization. But then
Keep
because
going.
AEW came around and it gave you a couple of old WWE guys. Now AEW is all that shit. That save that. I'm not hearing none of that, because the reason why I'm saying it is because you're saying Phil Brooks is bigger than AEW. That's bullshit. I think Cody
okay.
Rhodes has been more bigger than CM Punk. CM Punk is
But
known within a 5-mile radius, my boy.
so
And that's
listen,
why
hold on.
if you go back and see the pop he got on Saturday compared to the pop he got on Monday, was it the same? No, it was not. The
Nah,
pop he got in AEW when he first got there on Rampage compared to the pop he got on Dynamite was not the same. I've watched CM Punk for the long. I've seen CM Punk when I first saw CM Punk in 2007. He got the biggest pop here in Chicago. Anytime I've seen him anywhere else, he has not got the same pop.
but here's the thing: you're talking over the question that you asked. The question that we go back to is he bigger than AEW? And I'm
I
explaining
did
how.
not. I did not go over the. I just sat there and said Punk is not bigger than AEW. You're not bigger. You're not bigger than the company. Because if he was bigger than AEW, AEW would be faltering right now. You
They
can't
are.
say the ratings
They
took
are
a
though.
dip because
Are
you
they
can't
not?
say the ratings took a dip because of Punk leaving, because the
Are they
ratings have
not
sucked,
though?
because the ratings have sucked before.
No, hold on. No. Since Punk has left, AEW's had the worst ratings they had since they've been
AEW
premiered.
had Rampage was horrible ratings when Punk was there. Collision was gonna have horrible ratings regardless.
But
Dynamite teeters between 1,000,000 and 700,000. So when
right.
Punk was there for the year and a half, 2 years, their ratings weren't going high. They
Can I
weren't.
just add, AEW hasn't hit a million
What are you talking
since.
about? Those ratings weren't shit.
But
Rampage
see,
is horrible to the point where
so
everybody was making the ratings was going so shit. Everybody was making excuses. Oh well, because baseball's on. Oh, it's going against Monday Night Football. Oh, it's going against TNT
right.
football,
So
It's going against
basketball.
hockey.
Oh, it's going against hockey. Oh, it's going against the playoffs. Oh, it's on Friday night. Oh, it's on late night. Ricky made a few of those damn excuses. Oh, it's on this night. Oh, well, people are out. Oh, well, people are recording it. Fuck all that. That's what I'm talking about. You guys are making excuses.
But it's not.
CM Punk
You're
didn't move
stopping the
not
argument
one
before you
needle.
finish. So listen, you every time I go to get to the argument, you stop it and go about everybody else. What I'm saying is there's always going to be people in wrestling that are bigger than certain organizations. It's been that way. Had the NWO between the three, Hall, Nash, and Hulk Hogan left WCW, they were bigger than WCW. The NWO is bigger than WCW. During the time, there was a point in time where DX was bigger than WWF. There was a point in time where The Rock and Stone Cold were bigger than the WWF. At this point, what I'm saying is there's certain times when you can lose a wrestler when there's a war that means that it teeters the scale. Cody Rhodes was not a scale mover. If Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, and John Moxley, any of those guys that we call big in AEW leave, it's not going to tip the scale of AEW. But when the one person leaves and it does tip the scale, meaning CM Punk tips the scale. And how do I know this? He has the most views of anybody in WWE. Mind you, The Rock came back, one of the most loved wrestlers. He didn't break any internet, didn't break any records. He came back, everybody was great. When you have a man that comes back and he breaks the internet, they're talking about it on ESPN about CM Punk coming back. While he didn't even showcase on it, they're talking about it on FS1. That's what I mean when I say person's bigger than a company, meaning that them being there does damage to the other company. That is all I'm saying. And I'm saying CM Punk is that type of person. And it's worth the headache, the drama, anything that you got to deal with to get somebody that moves the needle like that. Because we haven't had that in a long time. Somebody other than John Cena.
And this is where I'm going to throw out an examples of where I know that's not true. You said Austin and Rock. Hold on. You said Austin and Rock was bigger than WWE. And at one point in time, I felt that too. But guess what? When Austin walked out on the company, did WWE take a hit? No, the fuck they did not. No, they did not. They did not take a hit. No, they did not. Let me tell you where WWE took a hit. WWE took the hit from not having no competitive, they didn't have no competition. And if you go back and watch the Monday Night Wars, they talk about that. That's why they created the brand. They created the brand split because they were taking hit, not having no competition. Because guess what? NWA TNA wasn't on the mark on a landmark like that. Ron the Truth Killings was not handling business like that. That's where they took the hit. But hold on, when Austin went out with that injury, they take a hit. No, The Rock carried everything. Once the brand split happened, WWE really took over. Because then you had SmackDown killing Raw. Because then you had Shawn Michaels that came back. You still had Triple H running stuff. You forget the emergence of Brock Lesnar. The emergence of Brock Lesnar. You still had some of the good wrestlers like Kurt Angle. You had Player One. I'm not saying his name, the dude that killed his wife and kid. You still had Eddie Guerrero. You had people like Rob Van Dam. You had the Dudley Boys. You still had Kane that was coming into his own still too. You still had Chris Jericho. You still had Edge and Christian. So no, that's not true. Hold on. When Hulk Hogan and them left to go to WWE or to go to WCW, the only thing that took a hit was the fact because times were still changing. So they were used to the red and yellow. But you remember how WCW was taking a hit while Hulk Hogan was still red and yellow. That's why he went heel. Same reason why Sting had to change who he was, because times were changing. But that doesn't mean they were bigger than the company. Y'all bet there was a time you probably thought Bret Hart was bigger than WWF. Well, you see what happened when Bret Hart left. WWF really soared. When Shawn Michaels left and DX broke up, WWF shuttled to new heights. Look at 2000s, my boy. Right. 2002 SmackDown to 2008 SmackDown. You cannot talk about what was not soaring up to new heights. So I'm sorry. You can talk about that he was bigger than the company. Maybe you're speaking as a fan, and that's what I'm hearing from you. You're speaking as a fan, but you're not speaking in literal sense because nobody is bigger than no company ever. A company will go on without you. And WWE didn't go out of business without Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Every time somebody's gonna always pick up. That's why no. That's why John Cena is the way he is. That's why John Cena took it to new heights. Do you forget that?
See, I purposely I said before the conversation started, and I clearly said this. I never said that if they leave, that the company will go out of business. When I say bigger,
No.
I said that they would change.
But when you speak on they're bigger than the company, you said it will hurt them going to another company, and that's not true.
Right.
That's not
Hold
true.
on. But
How did
It's
it hurt
not
WWE?
true.
How did it hurt
I'm
WWE
answering
for
your
CM Punk to go to AEW? How did it hurt WWE for CM Punk to
Hold
go
on.
to UFC? It didn't.
Hold on.
Check the
Hold on.
revenue.
But at the time, he wasn't the needle mover when he left. It wasn't
He's
him.
not the needle mover now.
Hold on. I'm trying to explain the concept that I'm telling you is that when Hulk Hogan left to go to WCW and Macho Man, it did hurt WCW. That is literally fact. It wasn't a question that it hurt him. Even Vince said it, that it hurt because he came out one day and was like, why is Macho not on commentary? He went to WCW. It did hurt him. After a while, when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall left, even Paul Heyman said it. WWE was about to sell their company because they were losing. So it took, when Stone Cold and The Rock came, it went up. Yes. Since Stone Cold and The Rock left, we have not seen numbers in WWE since then.
How come we haven't? That's because the times have changed. It's not the same no more.
Listen,
you're around the time you're speaking on what happened in the 90s compared to what's going on now. That's not true. Because I tell you like this, if without the Stone Cold and The Rock, the WWE is still going to new heights. They are more global now.
But listen,
they have more sponsors now.
I understand. Listen.
Do you know who John Cena is? John Cena holds the record for the most. Hold on. John Cena holds the record for the most Make-A-Wish appearances. Are you serious?
What does that have to? But listen,
he has more than Michael Jordan, my boy. What does that tell you?
But what does Make-A-Wish have to do with?
It has to do with a lot.
He's also an actor.
It has to do with a lot. That comes from WWE. WWE.
Right, but listen, he's also an actor now. He makes more money.
He was breaking records for Make-A-Wish way before he was an actor, fam.
But
please don't try to dismiss that because of your love for CM Punk and you want to hype.
But I'm more of a realist.
Stop it.
But listen,
no, you're not being a realist, my boy. You're
why
really
am I
not being a realist.
So
you're
listen,
being a fan.
okay, so listen.
You're being a fan.
So listen, all of us are here, right? We're all in here. You're telling me now that wrestling has more fans today than it did in the early 2000s and 90s. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Yes. What are you talking about? There is more fans today than there is back in the day. Yes. You want to know why? Because it has become a more friendlier content. When you go to these events, there's more kids in there than there's adults.
I don't know what the age difference.
Yes. Fam, if you go back and look, wrestling did not have these many sponsors as they do now. Hold on, right. Was wrestling? Was WWF and WCW being televised and being talked about on ESPN? It was not. You know it was not. Let me tell you something. You would have to look in the newspaper to find some dirt sheet shit. Wow, you can get on the internet now. Matter of fact, you can have Bleacher Report send you something right now saying this person is coming back. This person, it has its own section on a sports app. What are you talking about? WWE is talked about on a national. WWE can be bought by Disney. Disney is talking about buying WWE. What does that tell you?
That just tells you that they're doing great at marketing.
No, it tells you that it tells you that wrestling has went to newer heights than it was before.
Listen, I tell you, I'm
gonna prove my point. Wait, hold on. No, I'm not done, brother. Hey, you forget. They wanted to close Vince McMahon down. You forget the Bob, what's his last name? His interview with Vince. They didn't like WWE. They wanted to shut it down. You forgot? They wanted to shut it down because it was too risque.
Hey, so I'd like to ask you, because you asked me, you said 90s. Name anybody in here when wrestling comes on Monday nights, do we all if we have kids, go get our family, sit down and watch wrestling?
No.
Because I don't think people do that anymore.
No, we don't. But guess what? But guess why? But that's what you know why that is. Technology. See, back in the day, we talk about it all the time. You had to sit in front of the TV and flip back and forth. You had to. You had to go. Oh, no. You had to go between TNT and USA. You had to flick back and forth because you didn't want to miss something. Now you can record both shows and watch it when you get home. Technology is different. There was no internet. Excuse me.
So
There was
take
no
technology
internet
out.
back in the day. There was no internet back in the day. There was no way you could record TV, live TV back in the day. You had to
All right.
record it on VHS.
So
So
I
yes,
give you one.
hold on, wait, hold on. You forget. Prior to what was it? 2008. WrestleManias was being done in just regular stadiums. In regular events like All-State Arena. The last WrestleMania was in All-State Arena in Chicago. Now you have WrestleMania selling out football stadiums. You
Right.
mean to tell me that ain't more
On back to
fans?
back nights. On back to back
On
nights.
back-to-back nights.
Right. You have WrestleMania selling out because it became. Hold on. WrestleMania became an extravagant thing. Like
But
it's
you,
not just. Hold
you
on.
just sat there and said there's no more fans. What are you
I'm
talking about?
gonna prove
That
my
proves
point.
that there's more fans today than there was
No, it's
back in
not.
the day.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can go to a Raw event, right? Mind you, I don't know how old y'all is. You can go to a Raw event
I'm
right
40.
now, and
I'm
it's
40.
empty. Hold on.
I'm 40. I'm 40.
So listen,
I'm
okay,
40.
so you're 40, so that makes it even better. We're about the
22.
same age. So listen, when I went to Raw events, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. We couldn't get in the Raw event. It was sell out within minutes because Raw, everybody would go. I'm talking the whole city was shut down to go to Raw. Now, when they throw a wrestling event and we rarely get them, they don't sell out. They still have 2-for-1 tickets. It's empty.
Yeah, they got 2-for-1 tickets in AEW, dog.
Right.
That's where the 2-for-1 tickets are at. AEW, the organization you like. So if you're gonna talk about it right.
Wait, who said I like AEW? I like
You
all
saying
wrestling.
you like AEW the way you going hard.
No, because I watch all wrestling. I'm making a point.
Oh, you're one of them. You're one of those. I watch all wrestling. Okay, Tell me what's going on in NWA.
Well, right now, let's see. Last time I watched it was a couple weeks ago. Oh boy, EC3 got the belt. I watched him wrestle.
EC3 didn't have the belt for a few months now, but
hold on. You asked I told you last time I watched it. So last time I watched it was a couple weeks ago. Who was on it? I want to say, what's the boy? I saw the joint with Chris Masters up because I can't watch it live. I don't get to see it live, so I got to only watch it.
There's no way to watch it live. You can only watch it on YouTube.
Right, that's the only way I can watch it.
That's the only way you can watch it is on YouTube.
Chris, you gotta give us
So
a
I'm
report too.
so I'm being right.
NWA.
I didn't watch it. You know what I'm dealing with right now. So
Chris is
going to Survivor Series was my first wrestling experience in the longest. You know what I'm dealing with. So I can't even give you an update on the Miami Heat.
So what I'm saying is,
did we lose?
No, we winning now.
We winning now. I'm going back and forth between that.
We had to sweat.
But yeah, Chris is our local NWA reporter, man. He fills us in. Ricky, sorry y'all, I mean to cut y'all off. Ricky had to bounce. Ricky's not feeling under the weather, so we do apologize. But Ricky said, hey, we appreciate you for coming on. Ricky, you better come on the final show of the year. We do our awards and shit. You better be on that show, Ricky, considering you haven't been on in like 7 years. So you better be on for that. So
Lucas.
So, but anyways, I'll let y'all continue. My bad. I just want to.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, it was having a good conversation.
I don't know why I'm raising my voice. There's no need for me to raise my voice.
I'm gonna tell you like this. We needed that. We need something like that. I'm gonna tell you like this.
That's normally me and Chris shouting at each other.
But no. This is good.
I'm dead ass.
We need something like this. It's good. It's good for the show. This is why I created a platform so we can discuss things like this. Because you're not gonna find any other platform where you can get on and discuss things of this nature. I created this platform and everything, and I know it's everybody. At the end of the day, everybody's cool with each other and everything like that. There's no major beef, nothing like that. So, but I appreciate it, but it shows how much passion that y'all are about the subject matter, about the topic or whatever. So that's definitely what I like to see, man. It's definitely some good shit. But question for y'all with regards to CM Punk, what do you see about the future and see what do you see next now? So now that CM Punk's in WWE, where do y'all see this heading? What matches are we gonna see? Does this change everything regarding the Rumble? Does it change things called?
I think they're gonna accommodate him. I think they're gonna accommodate him in this new go around. I don't think it was all just, hey, you gonna come in here and do what the fuck we tell you to do. I don't think that. I think both of them. I think both Tripp and CM Punk had to compromise some things. So I don't believe CM Punk came out of this with nothing. I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble because he's never won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Everything that he had gripes about, I think he's going to get, except the ice cream bars. I think he's gonna. I be honest with you. I hope. I hope it is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. I do. I do, and I hope it main events. Night 1 or night 2. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I just don't want it on the same night as Roman and Cody.
They're not going to do that because they're separate champions. So I definitely know they're not going to do that. So what happens
Me
if the-
personally, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I don't like neither of the two. I like Seth Rollins more than I like CM Punk. But I want, and I'd rather see Seth Rollins and CM Punk main event night 2. I think they should end the weekend.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting.
If I had to book it, I book it the same way he said. I would book Punk Royal Rumble, Punk Seth, Punk goes over. I book night. Go ahead, sorry.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, I book night 2, Cody, Roman. Night 2, Cody goes over. I book, and I'm just saying that because WrestleMania is kind of like a reset, I feel. I book Gunther versus LA Knight. And LA Knight goes over. Because it's time for him to step up.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
I like that
actually.
a lot. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I like that better than the other matches you said. I like that a lot. Now that's a moment to have. That still will give him a moment.
My bad, Chris.
Yeah.
Dante, repeat that one more time.
No, I book like I said I book Punk to go over night 1 over Seth Rollins. Night 2, Roman Reigns goes over Cody goes over Roman. And during that one of them nights, pick one. LA Knight goes over Gunther. Now here's the good part about that. If LA Knight goes over Gunther, Roman Reigns wants to take a break. I say you give Roman Reigns.
I want to add something.
I say you have Roman. But I say Roman Reigns is just hear me out. I say, and this is how they can write it off. Roman Reigns get pissed off. He goes and wants a title shot, a rematch with Cody. During the music hit, Gunther comes out with his crew. Roman Reigns versus Gunther. Roman Reigns loses. 2 losses not gonna hurt him. He takes the break. He wants to go to Hollywood, but during his break, Paul Heyman turns on him. Now, how you want to do it? Put him back with Brock. Put him back with Punk. But WWE needs Paul Heyman. He turns on him. Now you have a strong contender for the title to go against Cody, and you drag it out for a long time to have Cody versus Gunther and have him go over. That way you don't just flip-flop the belts, but everybody get a taste, and you actually give them a heavyweight a title run.
So let me piggyback off that.
I like them ideas, man.
Let me piggyback off that. The whole LA Knight Gunther thing, don't do it at WrestleMania.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Give him his moment.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Do it on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Ooh, I like it even better.
Because the Raw after Mania, now hear me out. The Raw after Mania has been shit for the last couple of years, as long as we can remember. Probably since 2013, right? Like we said?
Right.
That was the last good one, yeah.
So
I want to talk about the time when the one after WrestleMania, the one after WrestleMania 33.
When Roman came out and said, "This is my yard." Right. So do that. So you have like an opening promo, on Monday Night Raw after Mania, whoever the world champion is going over. Have the little promo. First match, LA Knight, Gunther for the title. LA Knight beats him. Fast forward to later on in the show, it's Roman and Cody. Roman finally gets his rematch, like you said. That's where Gunther absolutely fucking loses it and jumps Roman and absolutely just whoops the fuck out of him. That closes the show, and that's how you write him off TV.
I believe at the Mania,
you kind of leave Raw on a little, not like on a cliffhanger in a sense, but you kind of leave the whole question: what's going to happen with Roman going forward? That's like the cliffhanger that you leave.
Because my thing is, what happens when Reigns loses the title?
He's going to take a break. So why not have him lose the title and have Gunther beat him without a title? That's the reason why I said.
Or to keep Roman or to keep Roman from losing, back-to-back nights. If you really want to actually protect him, just have him get jumped by Gunther and the rest of Imperium as he's making his entrance.
But
Kinda,
that was his gun. But that's not his MO though. He's more like, I want the war, so it'll make him look weak.
It's not. Listen. It's not his MO. It becomes his MO when he loses the Intercontinental title.
But wouldn't that change who we like him for? Like, we like him as that guy who tells everybody to move out the way. I'm a heel, but I'm a heel I like the old school. I'm a thump.
I'm sorry, but if Gunther takes out the big dog, the top dog, you're gonna look at him differently. You are going to look at him a lot differently than you do now. I promise you that.
But we look at him better like a real threat if he does it without any help? Like, no help. He goes.
He can do it. He can do it with Imperium, without Imperium. He will look dominant either way.
He's that good. He's that.
Yes,
Gunther is that
but
good.
I guarantee you, if that were to happen, you will look at Gunther a hell of a lot different than you do currently.
Good.
So can I ask y'all a question? Because I got a question that ain't nobody brought up yet.
I might have an answer.
We talking about Mania, right? There's a wild card that we keep forgetting, and every time I go over a scenario, I don't know what to do with it. What do you do with Damian Priest?
Oh, with his briefcase.
Yo, that's a good
question.
Oh
shit! I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about the briefcase.
I didn't think about that.
Shit,
time's running out.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I forgot he still had the case.
Right.
No, he's got to what? July.
He's got a year, right?
But
damn, that is a good question.
The years he don't have it for a while.
You know what? I think it's them having the tag team titles is why I got distracted by him having that case. And I keep forgetting he has.
What about Rumble?
I think WWE did
what if he cashes at the Rumble?
Matt say he's gonna cash in on Rhea.
Cash in at the Rumble, and
so
he can't lose it.
Ooh, could y'all imagine Cody finally finishes the story of Mania? Priest cashed in on his ass to close the night.
Hold on, but do you think they shit on Cody like that 2 years
Shit.
ago?
The heat that he would get would be crazy.
They would.
Exactly. The heat Priest would get would be off the charts.
No, you know what? I don't think Priest would get
I like that. I love that.
Chris, Cody is a fan. Chris,
Vince is back. That's what they'll say.
The rage that the fans would go through. I have people on my page right now that's like, Cody got to win.
Priest would get nuclear heat. If you cash in on the ultimate babyface currently, stop it.
I like that better than my idea. Put that.
I don't know.
Cody's a top babyface.
I don't know.
What do you mean? Book that.
Bro, Cody's a top babyface right now. Could you imagine?
No. I agree with that. I'm saying I don't know if they would turn on Damian Priest. I think they would turn on the company more than anything.
You think Dom gets
I think the narrative would be, Vince took over. That Vince is back. That's how I believe the narrative would be.
They need to cut that shit because that shit's not happening again. We've already established that he's not. So anybody who still says that is an AEW shill, or as I like to say, a virgin.
But that would work really well though if you do have him, because then it gives you another 6 months.
I'd be on board. I think the heat he would get would be something else.
Nuclear.
And he can win it back at SummerSlam.
Wait. And to top it all off, they'd be in Philly with that crowd?
Man.
And he can get the belt back at SummerSlam or anytime before that. It's not going to hurt. Have given Damian Priest 2 months of a run and Cody winning it from him.
That Philly crowd would destroy Priest.
I think there's a way they can do it. I think what they can do is, like you said, cash it in at Royal Rumble. Then because WrestleMania until April. There's still 2 more pay-per-views before that. I was
gonna say they still want to have Seth as the champ walking in.
Yeah, so you can have Seth win it back.
Yeah, we gotta get
in the chamber. In the chamber, maybe.
Yeah, the chamber.
I think the chamber's how Cody gets his chance to fight Roman.
I don't think Cody wins the Rumble. I think he wins the chamber match.
They're not gonna do a back-to-back winner. They're not. No. I'm sorry, but they're not.
Cody's gonna win the chamber match.
And also, you got to think about it this way. You also got to think about it this way. It's going to be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania.
I believe that too.
Eventually, that's the end game. That is the end game. Yeah.
So what if we switch it around a little bit? Hear me out. Damian Priest cashes in the World Rumble, beat Seth Rollins. CM Punk just come back. WWE doesn't trust CM Punk. Seth Rollins doesn't need the belt to headline WrestleMania. They can
Yes, he
have
does.
Seth
Yes, he
Rollins
does.
versus CM Punk.
Yes, he
Yes, he
does.
does.
But
Where
listen,
does Drew
The
McIntyre?
headlining over Roman, the headlining over Roman and them. Yeah, he do.
No.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he
Roman's
does.
night. The Roman has the last night. The last night is always the biggest night. Do we not agree on that? The
Yes,
last
but
night.
But we were also saying
you're not gonna end the night without that title being defended.
plus that title was created to be the main event of night one.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
That's
So-
why that title was created.
Okay, so why? Well, I mean, it would be kind of weird, but I think they got enough matches, and if they can get somehow Bad Bunny versus fucking Logan Paul, they still got it. They got a main event that would sell for casual non-wrestling fans will come to watch that because they're so big socially.
So
So-
I was going to ask, what happens with the United States title?
That they're gonna if they can get Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul, that'll be the match.
I think LA Knight. I think LA Knight's gonna beat him eventually for it.
You know what, Lucas and I know y'all, and I was getting ready to say that because y'all were talking about the Intercontinental title. I don't think LA Knight beats Gunther for the Intercontinental. I think LA Knight wins the United States title.
Yeah.
I
Well, because
think
he's on
that would be-
SmackDown.
So
still,
then you
so-
then
kinda
you
see
put
where
Brock
that's
Lesnar
going.
versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title, a belt that Brock Lesnar's never held, and he wants it, and Gunther has it, and you put them 1-on-1 night one. Gunther goes
And
over
also
Brock
got-
Lesnar.
They're gonna do Jimmy versus Jay.
Yeah, that's fine. You can still do Jimmy
Yeah,
versus Jay, but you can.
Jimmy versus Jay is gonna be at Mania. Too.
I think you should. That should be the opening match for like
Jimmy versus
night
Jay,
night
that's
what
the
night
opening
one or
match
two.
for night one. That would set the stage for also night one. You put Jay versus Jimmy to open up WrestleMania. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. It's going there. You can tell it's gonna get there. You just from now to WrestleMania, it's gonna see how all these storylines are gonna start building it up because now you got to see, okay, how are we gonna get to the Rumble? How are we gonna get to the Chamber? How are we gonna get to what's the pay-per-view before WrestleMania? There's a pay-per-view. I know there's the Chamber in February. What's it in March?
I don't even know that one.
It would normally be Fastlane.
Fastlane.
They moved Fastlane to October though.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
but
you're right.
it normally would be that. But I don't.
It might be a Saudi.
Yeah, it might be a Saudi show.
No, they do the Saudi show. They do the Saudi show in May.
No. You know they do like a few. You know they do like three Saudi
France is doing
shows.
Backlash.
So are we saying that night one could be Usos, Gunther versus Brock, ending closing night with maybe in that match have Damian Priest versus Finn Balor
Finn Balor.
for the title for the briefcase. Go put that on the line. The briefcase
They would put it on the line.
versus the Judgment Day. If Finn wins, he get the briefcase. If Damian wins, he kicks Finn out and gets Judgment Day.
What
Put it
about
on
Drew
the line.
McIntyre? Nobody mentioned that. Where
Nah,
does
well-
Drew McIntyre fit in all of this?
Who cares?
Well, I'm going night two.
Well,
too.
hey, I care.
Yeah, because he's still there. Drew McIntyre is still.
Here's the
He's
here's
still
the
there,
bad
but
part.
what's he gonna do though?
Send his ass
He's
back
over
down.
here. He's over here starting a feud with Sami Zayn.
Send him back down to NXT. I don't
Shit.
know what else.
No, you ain't gonna
I
do
don't
that.
know
He's
what-
done. He's done too much. He's done
Here's
too
a
much.
question. Y'all are saying he's done too much, but he's like the superstar now, where he doesn't fit in any narrative nowhere. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
too
do.
good to be.
Yeah, he do.
He's
He
too
don't
good
fit
to be
on
mid
Raw.
card,
He don't
but he's
fit
not
on
good enough
Raw.
to be. But listen,
He don't
he's
fit
too
on
good
Raw.
to be. Right, but he's too good to be mid card champion. But he's not good enough right there because they have too many heavyweight people who got their turn. With CM Punk returning, you got to put the belt on him. You do. You just gotta. And your only logic is where do you fit him in? Who does he beat? Who does he overstep? He
They're
can't even
gonna do
overstep
another-
LA Knight.
That's a good way to stay Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre.
And they're gonna do
He's
another
good. He's too good for a mid card, but he's not there yet just for the main event belt.
They're going to do another superstar.
I
shakeup
feel
event.
bad. I feel bad because he got his world title like right when the pandemic started, so he didn't really
It
actually get a
sucked,
run
though.
with.
It
Yeah,
really did suck because he had nobody in it.
it's out of his control,
Yeah, it
man.
was
What are you
out-
gonna
I mean,
do?
we had
They
it
should
happened.
when they were in his home. I forgot where they were. He should have beat Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins should have took a break. It was no need for Seth Rollins to not drop the title to Drew when they went to what were they? It was an island. What were they? They were like and they were out of the country. He fought that week.
It was in Saudi, I think. I think it was Saudi.
I thought it was
Yeah,
before
it was Saudi. It was Crown
It was
Jewel.
It was a
Right.
Saudi show.
Seth Rollins should have lost the belt right there. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but titles
They're not
never
having nobody
change.
lose. They're not having nobody lose no type of title in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the
Not
titles
the
never.
world title,
They
they're not.
never change hands over there ever.
My whole point is that they should have took the title off of Seth and put it on Drew earlier and let Drew get a little 2-month run or whatever and have Seth win it back, and it would have been fine. The problem is they put Seth in there, people you knew he wasn't going to lose to, and it's kind of
Right.
like, now what do? You could have literally had Drew win the belt, then have Damian cash in right after Seth won, and then Seth would have lost the belt right when he won it. Now you have a better storyline. The problem is they took too long to pull a trigger on some of these wins, and that's what wrestling was all about. You know, quick belt changes sometimes and whatever. And I feel like them trying to erase all the old records and build up all these new records is kind of hindering a lot of the people that could be getting a run. Because I feel like Drew should have had it for 2 months. Seth wins it again, holds overhead. The Mac, what's the name? What music hits? He cashes money in the bank. He gets the belt. And if you want to say Seth wins it again, fine. But at some point, I think now they back themselves in the corner because there's nowhere for Drew to go.
Facts.
Unless, and this is why I think that, and I know my boy over there think I'm an AEW fanatic. This is why I think AEW is actually a good thing for wrestling, because wrestlers can go and get a fresh look. And I always felt like, and I hate when people say it's impossible, I felt like WWE should just let certain wrestlers go so that they can go to AEW and rebuild their stock, kind of how they did with a lot of, like Drew the first time. There's nowhere for him to go. There's no room for him. And he's gonna flounder.
Let me ask you a question. Who's went to AEW and rebuilt their stock from WWE?
Cody.
Nobody. But nobody's had the chance. No, but hear me out though. Nobody's had the
Cody technically did, I guess.
But nobody. But we haven't had enough time though, because AEW do have a lot of stars that I feel like if they came to WWE they would do better. But there's a lot of low level stars in WWE that I feel like if they go to AEW, they can be superstars.
So who's going to Nobody has went to AEW. Nobody's went to AEW and flourished yet. Moxley is horrible. I don't care what nobody say. Moxley is horrible.
Hold on. Let him answer the question. Who? I'm genuinely curious. Who do you believe?
Who do I believe could go to AEW and from WWE to AEW?
Like the lower end guys in WWE that you think could go flourish in AEW. I'm curious.
I feel like Bronson Reed is being wasted. I like Bronson Reed. I think he's a hell of a wrestler.
Well, AEW, you do know AEW offered him and he declined.
Right, but no. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Some of these wrestlers that
look it up.
Okay.
No. I'm not.
Anybody else think Bronson Reed kind of looked like Samoa Joe with hair?
Right.
No, Bronson Reed looked like Rikishi.
Stop. He looks more like Samoa Joe to me, but with hair.
So you not believe, like, let's say some of the talent did go away, kind of like the old '90s days. You got guys that go to AEW. I'm saying the AEW need to get writers. They need to get writers. We understand there's a lot of flaws. Tony needs to change his mentality. But these indie wrestlers going to the indies sometimes used to be the thing that let them, not only hone their craft, make a better name for themselves. We're not gonna mention Matt Cardona because he's doing a great job and just reinventing himself. But there's a lot of wrestlers that, to me, I feel like can go to New Japan, can go other places that, because WWE is too full right now. Like, what do you do? What do you do with Braun Breaker? What do you do with that guy's crazy?
Braun Breaker, I think, because after Deadline, I do believe Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. I believe Deadline is it for them. I believe after Deadline, because you got a long break between Deadline and the Royal Rumble. I believe and you notice when NXT stars get called up, they disappear off of TV for like a month and a half, and then you'll see them pop up in the Rumble. So I do believe Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes are headed up to the main roster after Deadline. So,
but Big Dog, let me ask you a question. What do you do? What do you do with Braun Breaker and Carmelo on the main roster? If we can't find a place for Drew, how are we gonna find a place for them?
Some people don't deserve to be on the main roster. Some people are just fit for NXT, and that's okay.
Right.
And that's okay.
So, but hear me out. What if you put? And I understand CM Punk's coming back, but what if? I mean, at this point, I think WWE gonna have to start pulling stables, because at this point they don't have enough. Like, they're gonna have to start pulling stables together and pulling people. Because I feel like Braun Breaker would be great with Paul Heyman.
But see, that's the problem with AEW. They keep doing all these stables trying to go back to what NWA and WCW did, and it's not working out. House of Black is what? House of Black could be somebody totally different if they was in WWE. House of Black is being way wasted.
Do you believe that? But look, I believe that Tony has stretched himself through 3 shows with no writers, and he doesn't listen. QT Marshall said it best.
That's what we're talking about. He's a kid that just got daddy's checkbook. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Right, and so I believe, and just hear me out, that they will eventually, after these keep on ratings dropping, they'll find writers who can consistently keep a good story.
It's been 4 years.
I think that, but it's been a 4-year high though. We don't agree that it's been 4 years of them fucking up, but because it's been a niche fan base that they've been supporting, but now they're even starting to fall off. Like, bro, this is ridiculous because it's hard to watch. I had no problem with Hangman blowing blood in the air. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the storyline not making sense.
There's no storyline when it comes to AEW. They're horrible. They're all over the place.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But I just feel like if you get, they have enough talent. Do you know how many great stories a good writer could make? They got a lot of talent that has been wasted. And that's why I said I feel like if they get some writers.
Hey, it's Cokehead's boy for overinflating his roster.
Yeah, that's true. That's a huge ass roster.
He got money. He got money hungry. He got money happy. Actually, he got money happy. He got trigger happy. And as soon as he saw all these people get released from WWE, the dude just started writing checks. His ass couldn't cash.
Khan spent his time not trying to build his company, but trying to be a competitor to WWE. And you fans that really believe AEW is now a second tier, you guys have really put them over to WCW route in 4 years. That's how I know you guys don't care about pro wrestling. How has Impact been around for 20-some years and you're putting AEW over them? That's bullshit. New Japan has been around for decades. How are you putting AEW over them? You can't.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Listen, AEW does not have any good storylines. They overinflate their roster. This is what they did. They think because they heard fans really believe, oh, this person was not treated good in WWE. You notice every time somebody goes to AEW, the first line is they're going to be treated better. They weren't used right in WWE.
Wrong. That's not the first line, Chris. They say that's their favorite line. They say that's a game changer right there. Okay. That's a game changer. That's their favorite line.
Issue with Keith Lee. Now look at Keith Lee.
Oh, he's the biggest game changer.
He's worse off than what he was in WWE. Okay, Andrade.
You asked, but hold on. You asked why do people put it over?
Is Ty Dillinger bum ass still in AEW?
I'm gonna explain why people put AEW.
Or Sean Spears or whatever the fuck his name is. Is he still in AEW?
Yeah, he ain't you.
Yeah, but he hasn't wrestled like I think he wrestled on Dark.
What about the bastard Pac? Is he still in AEW?
He got hurt.
Neville?
He's injured.
Oh, when isn't he injured? That man is made of fucking glass. Fuck out of here.
I'm complaining about people put AEW over top of as a secondary option. Because you have TNA, or which is now Impact TNA.
I'll tell you why.
You have NWA and you have New Japan. All of them are great. Tony used a lot of money.
ROH too.
I'll tell you why.
I didn't mention RH because he owns it now. So what I'm saying,
you give your reasons. I'll tell you mine in a sec. Go ahead.
Right. So I feel like when everybody was being fired and Vince McMahon was being a dick and being like, "Fuck this shit, I'm gonna make money over feelings." That Tony picked up the checkbook and gave guys who were gonna be out of money, out of a place to work, gave them a job. So then people started championing, saying that Tony is gonna make a good company. And when Cody was there, Cody did, even though they don't have storylines now. Well, before Cody left, it was a different company. It felt different. It felt like they were gonna go in the direction of we're learning. As soon as Cody left, shit just felt like nobody gave a shit anymore. We're free. We can do whatever we want. We don't have any bosses. Kind of like Ed said. I feel over here like I'm free. I can just do what I want. Hence why the shit show went downhill.
So here's the one reason, and probably the only reason why most of these, dumb virgin fans want to put AEW over all these other promotions. They need something new to like that's, popular and that's new. And they think that AEW was going to put Vince out of business. You notice how these AEW fans aren't actually fans. They are fans because of their hatred for either A, Vince McMahon, or B, WWE. They're not true fans. They're not true fans at all. And this whole spiel that they want to say, like, oh, we love all pro wrestling. No, you don't.
I don't believe that.
No, you don't.
I don't believe that at all.
No, you don't.
I don't believe that at all.
Because all you do is
they have not done anything to prove that that they're a secondary or even a threat to be a secondary.
All they do is talk about.
Fans did that.
All they do is praise everything that AEW does. All they do is praise everything that AEW does and talk badly about WWE. I don't see them mention and New Japan. I don't see them mention what's it called, NWA, and all these other promotions too. TNA. Don't see them mention none of that.
Well, New Japan is hard as fuck to follow. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to watch New Japan. I got a headache trying to follow them.
But here's the thing though. It just goes back to, you know, all these dumbass virgin marks passing themselves off as diehard wrestling fans. No, buddy, your love for a promotion comes from your hatred for another one. That's not you being a fan. That's just you upping your feelings because your favorite wrestler didn't get pushed.
So here's a question: do you believe now that Vince is gone? That's why AEW.
No. I didn't believe Vince was gone when he first retired. And I kept telling everybody, I said,
no, hold up. What was the question? Yeah, he's gone now. We're done with that.
So now that Vince is gone.
Okay, you might not believe it, but it's true, Chris. He's gone.
Yeah, he's definitely gone, bro.
He has no share, no owners, no nothing. He sold it. He's done.
He sold a lot. He out. He definitely.
Here's the thing. I gotta roll with Chris on this one because
I don't believe it, dog.
Cool.
I don't care. Hey, Vince is somewhere in shape or form. He ain't gave up his daddy business and he ain't gave up his grandfather business like that.
No, some episodes are wrong.
Vince.
Well, listen.
They flashed him a nice check, and yes, he sure the fuck did.
Juice now,
all right, so
Vince
look,
is still involved.
This is why I believe he's gone. No, I believe he's involved as basically ambassador, but he's not involved in the business side only because too many federal lawsuits have been filed, and I just believe, and just honest, it's not like the first time. The first time he stepped down and kept his shares and kept everything. This is before it was sold. So yes, I do believe Vince is out. I believe he's 100%.
I have a hot take for y'all. I have a really hot take.
Let's say we all right. We can all be right. Y'all two can be right by saying that Vince is still there, but we're right by saying Vince has no power to change.
He has no creative.
I don't think Vince got power. But I think we're all right in that. But I don't think Vince. I'm sorry. I don't think Vince is away from his baby. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine, but I don't think any decisions go through Vince anymore. Is what we're trying to say.
That's what we all agreed on. We all agreed on that. We all agreed on that.
I agree with that.
We all agreed on that.
I have a hot take for y'all.
But the question was not. The question was not, does he have power, y'all? The question was, do y'all think Vince is gone? All I said was no, I don't. Do I think he got the power? No. Do I think he ain't gave up his baby like that?
Well, he does work.
Nobody ever said that. We just all said he has no creative control.
Yeah, he takes pictures.
We all said he ain't got no control.
So
I don't think he has any control in who gets signed either. Hence why they got Punk.
I don't believe
that. So with that being said, we know that Punk's back.
We could agree to disagree.
Does that change? I'm sorry. Does that change AEW now that you like? He said that a lot of fans had to hate for Vince. Now that person that you hate is gone. So now you have nobody to hate, and Triple H is bringing all the guys.
But I still don't take those fans seriously. I'm not going to take you seriously. I don't take you seriously because you're trying to hide behind something that you really don't believe. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to, because like I said, I would believe it if I know people that actually watch wrestling, that watch pro wrestling, and people that watch pro wrestling and watch all wrestling, like they said, they don't say AEW is number 2.
Example. Ricky, who was in here earlier, he watches pro wrestling, and he watches all of it.
Yeah,
I watch all of it as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I watch.
It's people that lie and say, "Oh well, I'm a wrestling fan, and that's why you went ahead and put AEW number 2 when you know good and fucking well AEW is not number 2. The only thing that y'all feel that AEW is number 2 is because of the network that it's on.
You can't do that though. You can't disagree with a person's feelings and personal feelings because
It's not about agreeing with somebody's personal. We know where it's coming
still
from.
think AEW
We know where it's
AEW has
coming from. That's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay,
We
but
know where
but
it's
no,
coming
that's
backtrack,
from.
not that's
but
not
backtrack
We
entirely
know
though.
fair.
their feelings is full of shit.
That's not
But
fair though.
backtrack
Hold
though.
on, but that's
Their
not fair.
personal feelings are why they are a fan of AEW to
Yeah, their
begin with.
personal feelings.
No,
So what are you talking about?
because
Yeah,
Yes,
listen,
they're using their personal feelings.
Yes,
They're
they
using
are.
their
Yes,
personal
the
feelings to
fuck they
mask
are.
and then trying to hide behind something that they really don't believe in. So yeah, I can do that because you're a disgrace. That's a disgrace. You
so
you're
if so
you're trying to hide behind you're trying to hide behind a narrative that you don't really believe in. You don't give a fuck about pro wrestling because if you did, you nobody would believe anybody that believe that gives a fuck about pro wrestling would not believe AEW's number two
And
or any type of
I don't want to hear
competition.
anything about personal feelings because, like I said before, these motherfuckers are their personal feelings are the reason why they're a fan of AEW to begin with.
but see, here's the thing
This
though.
is facts.
I'm a fan of all. I watch AEW. I get to watch TNA/Impact.
That's fine.
Hold
I'm
on. And I
I'm talking
watch
about the
WWE.
Twitter trolls, basically.
But I am talking about that. But I have people that, and I got, he can vouch for me. I have a lot of friends. We watch a lot of wrestling. We go to events and everything. I have a set of friends that really feel like AEW is number two, and they watch wrestling. That doesn't mean that because they feel like it's number two because they didn't like Impact and TNA. They don't like watching. They don't watch NWA. But it still does not say that they're not a fan because they put number two as AEW because AEW is a melting pot of New Japan, which they don't watch. A lot of I don't have no friends that really watch New Japan, but they know some of the wrestlers because they see the highlights on the internet or whatever. But AEW, they come to AEW, they can watch New Japan on their regular TV. You at one point you could watch Impact TNA wrestlers come to AEW. So to say AEW is number two doesn't downgrade every fan. Now I understand the fans y'all talking about some of the crazy fanatics that really be, but to say AEW is the number two promotion in the United States is not a stretch because it does make more money than any other company besides WWE. They also pull in more ratings besides any company besides WWE. So what doesn't say that they're number two?
So here's the thing. The only reason why they're pulling in that is because they have a owner who has a boatload of money to blow. And you know what they say, you got to spend money to make money sometimes.
Right.
All these other promotions don't have that.
Okay,
So like I said, Tony Khan's blowing his load with money basically.
Okay, so do you watch YouTube?
Do I watch what?
You watch YouTube like wrestling talk shows like Keeping It 100, maybe Cornette Pod, the Cornette podcast.
Like,
You watch
like
that?
podcasts,
I watch the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch
So
the
listen, let me
podcast
ask you a
and I watch
question.
shit like that.
So listen, if
Wrestling
AEW is not number two,
bios and 83 weeks, something to
right? So
something to
listen, hold
wrestle
on.
about.
So hear me
shit
out.
like that.
This is why I keep saying that y'all statement doesn't all hold true. Because if AEW wasn't number two, then why do these podcasts and all that not just talk about New Japan, NWA, TNA, or Impact? Every time you listen, it's WWE number one, AEW number two. Every one of them. I don't
Because
never.
you also have to understand that's because that's the flavor of the week, and because AEW is on a broader network than TNA and NWA. You got to understand
AEW was able to get a TV deal with Warner.
NWA is on YouTube. NWA is on YouTube. Nobody's checking YouTube all the time, but I think NWA is better than all the shit. And if you watch this show, you can hear I tell everybody that shit all the time.
Chris has been saying it for 3 years. Chris has been saying it for 3 years now. I can vouch for him.
Right, and that's fine, but that doesn't mean
better than all this shit. So,
but that's fine, but that doesn't make you the number two. So, because y'all
no, I don't think there's a legit number two of shit. I'm sorry, there's WWE and then everybody else is down here. There's no legit number two. I'm just simply saying the reason why there's people that believe AEW is a number two is not based off of their love for pro wrestling. You cannot have a love for pro wrestling and really believe a four year of the they was claiming AEW was number two before the show even got off. And you forget. You sit there and say you don't understand.
Before they even had a fucking episode.
Yeah, you sit there and say you don't understand New Japan. Well, a lot of that AEW roster is from where? New Japan. So obviously you got to understand something. You understand Okada because he's from New Japan. Some of Kenny Omega's best work is where? Kenny Omega's best work is where?
That's not what I said, though.
New Japan. No.
But that's not.
That is what you said.
But you keep saying no. But that's not what I said, though.
That is
that's
what
not,
you said.
You said
how can we? You sat there and said, how can we sit there and say that I'm giving you an example. That's why I'm saying.
No. You said I said that I didn't understand. Hold on, real quick. You said I didn't understand New Japan. That's not what I said. I never said that. What I said was it's hard to follow. That's what I said.
Okay. I hard to follow, but obviously you're following it because you know who the fuck. Obviously you cheer for AEW, and most of them, Hangman Page, Okada, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes went to Japan. Moxley was in Japan. Bryan Danielson, that's why he wanted to go to Japan. They're from New Japan, so therefore you follow it.
No.
To believe that AEW is number 2.
Wait, that's not the same thing.
Number 2.
Hold on, that's not the same thing.
There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason, and you can't say it's Jericho.
You're yelling over the point, but you're not listening.
I don't mean to yell. That's just how I talk.
That's just how Chris talks. That's just how he is. He's just loud as fuck.
Right,
I don't mean to yell.
But I get that. But saying that I don't understand something and it's hard to follow is 2 different things. Meaning that I understand pro wrestling, but if I don't know what time something comes on, what the show lineup is.
That's my point. You're proving my point. That's what I'm saying. That's why people are saying AEW is number 2 because it is on a bigger network. That's the only reason. Y'all was saying AEW was number 2 before it even got off the map, before an episode even happened. That's what I'm saying, and that's because AEW was on TNT, just like the real number 2, which was WCW. That's where that narrative came from. But you're sitting there saying, "Oh, it's my love of pro wrestling." But then you just contradicted yourself. Well, I don't know what time this, that, and the other come on. So which one is it? Which one is it? So if you don't know, anybody that knows pro wrestling, I can tell you. I tell you like this. I know when NWA is going to be broadcasted on YouTube. I know when that is. You want to know why? Because I love wrestling.
There's no human being, unless you just watch nothing but wrestling, can follow every single wrestling company. That's impossible.
So then you know what? Then don't use the narrative that I love AEW because I love pro wrestling. That makes no sense. That's like me saying I love the NBA because I love basketball, but I don't know shit about NCAA, and I don't know shit about the G League, and I never played the sport a day in my life.
So hold on. I know nothing about it. I don't watch NCAA, but I watch basketball religiously. I play football, but I don't watch college football. But I watch professional football.
Okay. But are you going around saying, "Oh, I love football because I watch the NFL because I love football"? No, you're not saying that. What we're speaking of is AEW fans. They're not real fans using the mask and using pro wrestling as a crutch when you don't really believe that. What you believe is, oh, I like AEW because, like I said, they were considered number 2 before an episode even came out.
So you're consolidating everybody
in one. The narrative was, oh, because we got pro wrestling back. How?
Because you're listening to a niche amount of people. Everybody ain't like that. So everybody shouldn't be held to the same standard.
You know what the problem is? Some of these dummies think that Tony Khan saved pro wrestling.
No, that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, how can you label something being great if it hadn't even came out yet?
Chris said it best. These motherfuckers act like shit is sugar.
That's what I'm saying, right? You can't sit there and say shit is sugar. All because, and then you come out and sit there and say, okay, well, we like this product because we were tired of one product. That makes no sense. You can't sit there and say you love pro wrestling, but you don't know about shit anything else. You can't say that. Motherfucking AEW isn't the end all be all of pro wrestling.
And it's definitely not a safe haven either.
It's
Like
not,
some of these
that's not,
motherfuckers
and
act
thank
like
you,
it
Lucas.
is.
It's not the safe haven. It's not the
But-
end all be all.
It's not.
You guys
It's not.
are
It's not the
making it seem like
promised land.
AEW is the end all be all of pro wrestling.
It's not the promised land
And
that
that makes no
Tony
sense.
Khan promises to be. Oh, you come
It
over here,
has not-
we'll treat
it
you
has not-
nice.
It has not moved nothing. It has not moved no needles. It hasn't. All it is somebody who's a billionaire that's able to keep the damn. You do realize why Eric Bischoff was not able to keep WCW, right? You do realize why Dixie Carter had to get rid of Impact and let somebody else take it over, right? This is a business. When you are a billionaire, you can keep something going.
Facts.
So that's my only gripe. Do not mask it and lie and try to use pro wrestling as your crutch when you know that's not what it is. Because you just sat there and said, well, I don't have time to be looking for all these other organizations. That's what pro wrestling is about.
That's not true.
That's pro wrestling.
But that's not even true.
AEW is not
for y'all to say, but listen what you're saying.
You can't sit there and act like, oh, WWE is sports entertainment and AEW just starts with pro wrestling. You can't do that.
Listen what you're saying though.
They had Okada riding on a bicycle hitting people with a lead pipe. Fuck out of here.
To be a true wrestling fan, I had to watch every bit of wrestling to be a true fan.
Isn't that what you said? The reason why you like AEW? Because you like pro wrestling.
Here's
right?
my thing.
Right, but I don't have to. You guys said that, not me.
My problem is the hypocrisy that lies within these fans.
AEW fans have said that. They said
they're all hypocrites.
They love AEW because it's pro.
They are all hypocrites. And I'm gonna tell you why.
You're telling me nobody watches everything. So how the fuck you know what pro wrestling is if you're not watching everything? AEW didn't start pro wrestling. AEW doesn't end with pro wrestling.
So hold on, wait a second.
You want to hear why they're hypocrites? Hold on. They're the biggest hypocrites on the planet. They had Okada riding a damn bike over to the ring and around it, but they literally shit on WWE for having zombies part of a promotion.
Look up the Halloween thing they did with the Ghostbuster shit. But you want to cry about a fucking bunny? Come on.
Hypocrite.
That's all I'm saying, dude.
Like it's bad if WWE does it, but if AEW does it, it's fucking all shits and giggles and it's fun. It's fun. Let them have fun.
We never said AEW wasn't entertainment, but it's pro wrestling. Okay, you know what else is pro wrestling? Impact Wrestling. That's pro wrestling. NWA is pro wrestling. But this is something straight. Everything is going to have an entertainment aspect.
You know what though?
That's what sports is.
I have convinced myself that these AEW dorks started watching wrestling 4 years ago. That's why they don't know shit, and that's why they talk out of the side of their assholes.
Exactly. That's all I'm sitting there
saying. They don't know shit at the end of the day. They all started watching wrestling 4 years ago.
Pro wrestling and it ends with pro wrestling. And
right.
That's not true.
I said what I said, and nobody can fucking tell me otherwise.
So let me ask y'all a question. Where do you separate the line between pro wrestling and sports entertainment?
You can't.
You can't. It's in the same context.
Let me ask you a question. What's different? You're there. Nobody's wrestling in an empty ass building. You're gonna entertain somebody, goddammit. That's why they say wrestling is scripted. What is the point of an act? Wrestlers are characters. They're not all of them using their name. They're characters. And what do characters do? They entertain you. When you go watch a movie, that's for your entertainment.
I think
wrestling.
When we buy tickets to go, and this is sporting events too, basketball, football. We go there to be entertained. It is the same context with wrestling. We go there to be entertained.
And the one thing I hate when people tell me, like when I say I'm a wrestling fan or something like that, there's like I always hear that they always say under their breath or they make a comment, well, you know it's fake, right?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
okay, cool.
I was like,
you know the Avengers movies are fake too, but we still fucking watch them. And we still, the Avengers movies are fake, but we still talk about it like it's real life shit. Chris and I talk about it all the time.
God damn it.
We still randomly talk about Civil War and like why they gotta fight, you know?
I'm like, if you're gonna sit there and make that comment, I'm like, look at everything that you watch or the person that's making that comment.
Right.
Bro, what's different between what's fake and you're telling me.
You know what I will never take serious? A woman who tries to criticize me for watching wrestling, but she's sitting over here watching stupid goofy shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Fuck out of here. Fuck on out of here.
If you want to comment,
Hey, Chris, hey, hit her with the.
Hold on, keep
Chris,
talking. Keep talking.
My fault.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, I was like, but the thing is, we're wrestling fans. At the end of the day, this is what we like to watch. We've all been watching this since we were younger. It's something that we enjoy to watch. Chris,
I hit her with the.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
want to hear none of that.
When you tell me wrestling is fake, you know what I say? I say, why don't you ask God rest the man, so the Droz, if wrestling is fake, because he died of paraplegic. When you look at them motherfuckers' back and the bumps and the injuries they take, those are real. All in the lines of entertaining who? The fans. So yes, all wrestling is entertainment.
Is what is it? WWE is the E stands for entertainment.
Just because WWE doesn't hold themselves. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody care about technical wrestling. Y'all can sit there and act like y'all do. Y'all care wrestling. Y'all care about the storyline and leading to why these characters got beef with each other. The storyline is the most important. Why these characters don't like? Why am I watching these two wrestlers fight each other?
And this
what's the reason why they did? There's something there. There has to be a history behind it.
Why are they beefing? You know.
Yes.
This goes back to the show we did with the guys from the WSX Wrestling.
Yep.
And when we were talking to the GM, the guy who runs it, he was telling us about storylines.
Right.
This goes back to that show. Everything. Shout out to them, man. I gotta get them back on the show again. My apologies.
That was a fun show.
That was a fun show, man.
Yeah, that was a good fun. That was a real fun show.
That was a great show, man. That show ran for almost 3 hours, but it was one of the best shows we've ever done, man. We definitely gotta have them back on. Shout out to the time I went down to Charlotte to watch NXT Vengeance Day down in Charlotte back in February, and that's where I met the guys at and everything, and I had them on the show.
I haven't been to an NXT show since War Games.
Yeah, I've been to one NXT show.
NXT has been shit ever since.
They also haven't been here either.
I don't think they do. Does NXT even travel anymore?
They do for the pay-per-views. Yeah.
Y'all get all the shows. We don't get shit in Virginia. I mean, we'll get Raw and Norfolk Scope. Even when I was in Richmond for that year, I don't remember Richmond. I think Raw came to Richmond like once or twice when I was in Richmond.
Hey, I'm gonna say this though. This past Saturday might have been the best show I've seen live. And I've been to a lot. But as far as like atmospheres go, yeah, I think this past Saturday was
Saturday was well worth it, man.
Absolutely fucking insane, honestly. I don't think
man. It was
like I said,
it was a moment. It was
like
a moment.
I said.
And I think Dante, that's his name. He said his top 5 moment. I hate to agree with you, but I agree because I'm not a CM Punk fan. But shit, that's definitely.
Hey, I remember looking over at Chris, him singing "Cult of Personality." That he looked over at me. I was sitting there, just like, no fucking way, man.
Hey, Lucas' mouth was wide open, Paul. His mouth was wide open,
like I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Well, look, we got a lot to look forward to, man, coming up in 2024, man. This is just the beginning, man. We got a lot to look forward to. CM Punk is just, now you get the dream matches, you get more storylines. It's a lot. I'm just excited what's get ready to come up in 2024.
Hey, Chris, I meant to text you this a couple days ago, but this past Saturday was better than 2019 for sure.
I agree. I thought we did talk about. I thought we did talk about that in the.
I don't know if we ever said it or not.
I thought we did.
But yeah, this past Saturday was better than 2019.
Yeah,
for sure.
This past
by far.
Live, man. It's one thing to sit there and watch it live on TV.
You know,
going on, but to be in the arena as it actually is happening is another thing. Just to see the reaction that when you guys describe how you felt like the stadium like actually shook.
I remember Keith in the group chat saying, "You lucky bastards, you're there live and this and that."
You guys get all the fucking shows and all the Lucas gets all the moments, man. Lucas has never missed out on a good moment, man.
I went to SummerSlam this year too, so I was like, "Damn, I wonder how they're gonna top it."
So it was definitely, man. It was definitely something to talk about. We got a lot to look forward to and everything. We got our end of the year award show coming up at the probably gonna be like the week after Christmas, the week of Christmas, like that Thursday or Friday before. So we won't be doing the show for a little while because I'm getting back into basketball. As if some of y'all don't know, I do head coach. So we getting back into the season coming up. I got practice starting next week. So once Christmas break happens, when schools are closed, we'll go ahead and do the end of the year show. Wrap it
Coach
up.
Keys?
Coach Q's back, baby. Coach Q's back. In fact, first time in 2 years, so I'm definitely glad to come back. So, one more thing. The big news I had a special announcement. So, and I meant to tell y'all this a couple weeks ago and everything. I haven't posted it yet up on social media.
You got a kid on the way?
No. But that's
He's pregnant, y'all.
That's sort of the news. So, June 2024, my nephew is expecting his second child.
Nice.
I'm gonna be a great nephew for the second. I'm gonna be a great uncle for the second time. So
that's what's up. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. My nephew broke the news to us a couple weeks ago, and when his son came, shout out to Caden, who walked in with a T-shirt that said "Big Brother" on it. And I looked out, I was like, oh my God, I say, he's going to be a big brother. I said, I'm not ready for this. I said, are you ready? Shout out to Kate, who shot me with his Nerf gun Thanksgiving weekend. 2-year-old knows how to load a Nerf gun. That's the scariest thing in my life. See, a 2-year-old knows how to load a Nerf gun. They told me after he shot me, he told me, Marky, you're supposed to be dead. A 2-year-old told me, Marky, you're supposed to be dead. I mean... Hey man, Christmas. When I shop for Christmas for him, man, I gotta make him into a wrestling fan because shout out to my nephew Cameron. They watch NXT. They do, and he'll call me and ask me, hey, he said y'all watch. He said you watch Raw and you watch NXT. He said
he watched the demo.
He's like Caden loves it. He said he sits there and loves it. He likes them flying up the cave. We watched War Games when I was in Charlotte for Thanksgiving, and my great nephew loved it. He loved it. He was just excited. This is a 2-year-old. So he's definitely, I said, I brought him into his little Intercontinental title. He has his first little belt. So I said, once he gets older, I'll start buying him more belts and everything. So, but yeah, that was my announcement. I'm going to be a great uncle for the second time coming up in June of next year. So I'm definitely excited about that. Before we wrap up, anything else y'all need to address, shout out or whatever and everything? So before we wrap this up.
I had a hot take I wanted to share with y'all real quick.
All right.
And you guys can disagree. I think AEW would be better.
That's bullshit.
Well, fuck me, I guess, right?
I want to get it out the way, Lucas. I want to get it out the way. Sorry. Go ahead.
Swerve Strickland, I'm definitely feeling his current run now. So that's what I was.
So extremely hot take. I think AEW would be 10 times better if they had Vince operating the shit.
Yeah, Vince Russo. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Boy, stop playing with me. Boy, stop playing with me. Nah, if they had like Vince McMahon operating the shit, I think AEW would be 10 times. It wouldn't be like, where WWE is, but I think AEW would actually be better than what it fucking is right now.
And then it would make them same fans that really be a hypocrite because the same fans that claim they hated Vince, that's why they love AEW, they're gonna suck Vince off. I'm not
trust me, I know. I already know, but I'm just saying. I think if Vince were to have some type of say in how, shit should be ran, I think it'd be a lot better.
Who knows? I'm about to get off, fellas.
Yeah, but anyway,
yeah, same here.
Dante, anything you else want to say?
It's nice meeting you. Oh, he left.
He left.
He said, "Fuck us," I guess, right?
Hey, but Dante, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Man. It was. Hey, man, please come back.
Chris scared him away. He yelled at him too much.
I didn't yell. That's just how I talk.
Hey, but it was good banter, man. We needed that, man. I like that. It's just when everything is just so one-sided and you only hear one person's opinion. You want to come on and you want to hear somebody else's opinion on what they got to say. And it's the whole thing. Hold on, he's back now. Hold on. Hey, Dante, can you hear me?
Comments flying in the chat, I see.
Yeah, they are. Dante.
Yo,
we wanted to thank you for coming on, man. Do you have any more last words or anything, man?
Man, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. I love the conversation, man. I like the energy in here, dog. I truly appreciate,
Yeah,
saying,
man.
getting
Please
chit
come
chat with
back
other
on,
fans,
bro.
man.
We need this
Yeah.
type of interaction, bro. Come back on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be a
for sure,
regular
for
with
sure.
us.
Yeah, man. You got to
Most
be a regular with this, man. Hey, man. You know your stuff, man. For real. Come on, hey, come
Dante,
back, man.
like I
We
said,
need this type of banter.
I met this dude a year ago, and I watched pay-per-views with him, man. And it's like, and you know, Dante can speak. He's definitely a wrestling fan,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
He's
Yeah,
definitely,
man.
yeah. He knows Dante knows his shit, man. He puts you in mind of Ricky. He definitely knows his shit, man. You know, shout
Yeah,
out to
he
Ricky.
do.
Ricky, I hope you feel better, man. Ricky, I know Ricky he wanted to be on longer, but Ricky was feeling under the weather. But
It'll be alright. He just got the sniffles.
He was sniffing coke off camera.
He was doing it with Tony Khan too, his boy.
Oh man.
Little AEW lover.
All right, y'all. Any other shout outs y'all gotta give before I wrap this up?
Yeah, shout out to WWE for putting on a good ass show this past Saturday.
Chris, any shout outs?
And actually filling the arena too this time around. That's what I will say. I love that they filled the arena and packed the house.
Chris is having Dante. Hey, I'm not even because we can wrap the show up and everything. So, but anyway, hey man, I think.
Hold on, you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to my kids, man. You know, shout out to my family. Shout out to my pops, man. Shout out to my pops,
shout
my
out
dad.
to Chris's pops, man. The OG. Glad he's doing better, man.
Yeah, man.
Glad he's doing
Thank
better,
you.
man. It's been a rough year for everyone, man.
It
I
has.
already know my situation, everything, and next year will be 1 year since my oldest nephew passed. So, you know, I'm definitely doing something for him next week, man. His 1 year anniversary is next week. Also, you know, with moms and everything. So, I appreciate y'all fellas for sticking with me, man.
Yeah, man.
I know it's been a rough year with shows and everything like that, and I know I've had my good times and I had my bad times. I've had a lot going on this year with the move and my moms and everything. But hey, I appreciate y'all sticking with me the whole way through, man. It's been one hell of a year, and I'm hoping 2024 is going to be a much better year.
Where the fuck is Chris going?
Chris is going somewhere.
Oh, I'm going to get something to eat. Shit.
Chris going to get some pussy. That's what he's going to do.
No, I'm going to get something to eat. What the fuck wrong with
Hey, but end of the year show is gonna.
A lot's wrong with me. You know this.
End of the year show, I think we're gonna probably do on December. If I'm looking at the calendar, December like 28th, I believe we'll do a last show, and we'll do the end of the year show. We'll wrap that up and everything, and we'll do different categories in regards to like wrestler of the year, moment of the year, match of the year.
Well, we already know this. This moment on Survivor Series is the moment of the year.
That was the moment of the year.
That's the moment of the year. I mean, I don't see anything. I don't see how anything can be any different, dog.
I don't.
You said the 28th? Okay, I'll make sure I'm not available that day.
I'll be back from Charlotte. Yeah, I'll be back from Charlotte. Actually, that's the day I'll be coming back from Charlotte. No, I'll be coming back on the 27th. But the 28th, yeah, we can do the show the 28th. I'll be good.
Cool. Make sure I'm not available that day. Got it.
We'll get Dante back on.
Oh, are we supposed to be? Hold on, wait. Are we supposed to be going to see Iron Claw on the 28th?
We are.
I think me, you, and Ricky are supposed to be going to see Iron Claw.
Yeah, because I definitely want to go check that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know, Keith. We might be at the Iron Claw, G.
Okay, it's cool. We'll figure it.
I'll let you know.
We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time to figure that out.
We got plenty of time. We're good. We got plenty of time.
Hey, Lucas, me, you, and Ricky need to talk about that day.
We do. We definitely do.
We might.
We can figure out what I need to do, what we need to do. Because I'm definitely bringing tacos in that bitch.
Hey, we can go to my old stomping grounds and see it too.
It's not even there no more, is it?
Well, it's a different movie theater now, but it's like the same concept though.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Hey, I'm with it. Hey, you know me. Hey, when when me and my boys went and saw Infinity War, we went in there, motherfucker, with tacos. Hey, that bitch was straight taco. We went to the taco house Each of us got like four tacos. We was in that motherfucker maxing and high as fuck.
Fat motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, I'm a wide back having ass.
I'm trying to run the cruiserweight division, man. I'm trying to get to the cruiserweight division, man.
I was about to say you about to join the cruiserweights in a minute. So
I'm trying to join the cruiserweight division, man.
Where is the big slow?
My homeboy told me
he said The Rock has a video of you doing what you do best.
My homeboy told me, he said, yo, you need to take the big keys off your license plate, man. He said, change it. I was like, nah, I can't change. That's always going to be the license plate up there, man. I said, I got to keep the name, man. Even though it's not big as I was before, but I still got to keep it.
You should change your license plate.
Big Keith is always going to be great, man. Big Keith.
Yeah, that's what I've always been. I said, I can't.
Hey, you ain't got to be big to be Big Keith.
Exactly. I'm still a little light heavyweight, but it's not. I'm lighter than what I was 4 years ago.
Right.
I definitely was a shell of myself from 4 years ago, so I'm definitely happy about that, man. I'm feeling good going to the end of the year. I'm healthy. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm lighter than I've ever been. Everything. I'm down weight. In the past 4 years, now I'm up to 114 pounds down.
That's great, man. I love that, man. I love it.
So I'm going into this upcoming season as a coach. I'm feeling the lightest I've ever been. So.
But how much can you lift? No, I'm kidding.
I'm getting up. I had like 5-10 pounds every time.
You bench pressing 500 yet? What's up, man?
Not yet.
What's up?
No, I'm not Nick Chubb yet. I ain't reached Nick Chubb yet status.
No, he squats like 600. He squats 600.
I'm right around like 175 for right now. I'm just taking it light and everything. I'm working on the
upper. All right, fellas, I'm out. I'll holler at y'all.
But I'm about to finish watching the rest of this football game because it's actually a high-scoring game.
It's actually a good game, man. It's definitely a good game, man. But if you want to sign off and everything, I'm going to close out the show.
All right, Keith. I'll talk to you, brother.
Yes, sir. We'll talk in the chat, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We're going to wrap this up, man. Hey, great show. Great show. This is why I do this podcast, man. Y'all go sit there and say they were sitting there yelling and everything like that. It's all good banter, man. If I don't know if y'all seen the podcast before, everybody's gonna yell. I mean, it was nothing serious or nothing like that. At the end of the day, I'm cool. I'm still cool. They're all cool, man. It's all love and everything, man. This is what we do here. This is what we do here at this podcast, man. This is why I made this podcast for everybody can come on and have their own opinion, to discuss their opinion, to discuss wrestling, man. That's what I'm here, and that's why I'm still rocking this podcast and everything. Thank y'all for rocking with me all 2023. Like I said, we got one more show left. And then we're going to rock it into 2024 even stronger than ever, man. I'm still trying to do giveaways, trying to give away some money, websites coming. I'm telling y'all, I got a whole bunch of things going on in 2024 that y'all ain't ready for. So, hey, anyways, I want y'all to enjoy yourselves, enjoy your evening, man. And, hey, thank you as always. Make sure y'all follow the socials, man. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook. Make sure y'all like us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all we're on now. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the subscribe button so that way you can get notification when we go live and when I post content. Hey man, thank y'all again for tuning in. This was a great show, man. I've done a lot of shows, but definitely was a good show, man. But anyways, y'all have a great evening. I hope y'all enjoy your weekend. The holidays season is coming up, and hope y'all get a chance to enjoy your loved ones, man. And next week, 1 year since my nephew passed away and everything, I'm gonna try to do something special for him. Curtis, you're always near dear to my heart, baby. Love you, kid. Love you, kid. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Enjoy your weekend, and as we always say here at Wrestling Talk Radio, we're not just wrestling fans. We're wrestling fans. Until next time, y'all have a good night. One.